What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 13 of the Chucklers Undercover. I'm Matt, the ManicProfessor, and he's lighting up a cigarette.
I'm Kevin.
KingCarnage.
Do we really have to do this every time with the whole?
Well, you have to. Well, you do, yeah. Cause you gotta assume this is somebody's first episode. We gotta tell them who we are.
Hell, man.
Listen, I hold out hope that somebody somewhere is watching this and enjoying what you're hearing.
They know who. The people that watch us regularly. Y'all the shit. If you don't know who we are,
Shout
it's
out.
blasted all over every video we've got is blasted on shit. You can probably find it in the bio somewhere. Yeah.
But
anyway,
the way we do every episode of the Chucklers
Yes.
Undercover, or at least every one recently, is we start with a story. Now, the last few episodes, I think episode 9 or 10, I think 10, was the first one we started opening up with a story. But unlike those episodes, this one is pretty much completely made up of a story. Now, basically,
it's a good story.
The premise behind these stories is it sort of tells the origin of the Chucklers, which will culminate in a few episodes down the line with the actual origin of the Chucklers, telling how that actually happened. But all of these stories are stories that happened, within the last 10, 15 years that contributed to that one
Say the
day.
defining moments.
The defining moments that led to the Chucklers. Now, this one is one of the big ones. In fact, it's the very beginning.
Here's
Very
why
beginning.
it takes an extended period of time to go and explain this story, because it's
Right. It's
the roots.
for those who don't know, back in 2000-ish land,
2000-ish.
yes,
man.
yes,
We're going with
we
that.
I ran a backyard wrestling promotion. Okay, air quotes. That's important.
Yes.
And this particular episode's story is the full untold history, the story of the Ultimate Wrestling Federation, our promotion. But most importantly, the point of this story is it's also the story of how I met Chris. Now, for those of you who are sort of new to the channel and don't know our whole history, Chris is an OG Chuckler. He was there from the very beginning, like back in our Let's Play era on YouTube, back in 2012, 2013. Around 2014 was when he started going off. He moved away, then he got a new job, and then he doesn't really hang around much anymore.
Yeah.
And
Life.
but he was one of the big important figures in the Chucklers
Founding
history.
fathers.
Thank you. He
I got you, man. I got you.
Thank you. But because he plays such a huge role in this story, I tried really hard to get him here. This past Sunday, it's Friday now? It's
yeah.
Friday today. No, Thursday. It's Thursday.
Today's no.
Is it Thursday?
I thought we were arguing about the Sunday. I didn't know we were arguing about what day it is.
What day is this?
Dude,
it's
it is Thursday.
It is Thursday.
It's my last day off. It's Thursday.
Okay.
I gotta work Friday and Saturday.
That's all I wanted to know was what
It's
day.
Thursday.
Hey, Kevin, let me finish the fucking
Okay,
story,
go.
please.
Sorry.
On Sunday, this past Sunday, Chris and I met up on it was a Facebook video chat, and I was gonna record it, and that was gonna be episode 13. But I struggled like hell to get the video to record. We could get the video to between each other in the audio. We could talk to each other and see each other, but for some reason we couldn't record it. I don't know if it was my stream software. I don't know if it's something else. I don't know. But we tried. I tried super hard to get him here. Like I stayed up all night. I stayed up all night the night before and then took 2 sleeping pills that night. So I was so drowsy when I woke up at like 6 a.m. I downed 2 cups of coffee to stay up so I could interview Chris for this episode. And because that didn't work out, I'm so upset. But the show must go on. So we got Kevin here.
Right.
He gets it. He wasn't there, but he gets it.
Yeah.
But
I know. Shit happens. Okay. As I said before, life.
But like I said, this is a long story. This is going to take place the entire episode, broke up into about 2 or 3. Well,
Right.
let's say 3 or 4 chapters, because there's a prologue too in 3 chapters. And yeah, he was there for almost all of it, so it's a shame he wasn't there. But this is by far the longest story I'm probably ever going to tell in the Chucklers Undercover. I started writing this in August. It's February right now.
So, if you felt a little bored on all the others...
Yeah. But, yeah, we're going to pace ourselves here, because there's a lot of talking. There's been a lot of talking already. Yeah. And frankly, I'm tired of talking, so let's just get into the story, all right? Prologue!
Let's do this!
Story time. Prologue. We're going back in
machine.
Time machine. Back to September the 10th, 2004.
Bam.
On this day, I met Chris. And there was another guy in our circle, too. His name was Robert. I also met him that day. And this was in the cafeteria of our middle school. We were in 7th grade. Only 12 years old, in fact. And this was sort of the nucleus of this future promotion that we would be doing. But we were all fans of wrestling at the time. WWE was huge in our
as any kid
circle.
Around the age of 10 to 12 to 13, they want to slam some shit and drop some elbows and.
But I was the only one that sort of knew that it was a scripted thing. Like around that time, I guess that summer before, I got a book, found it at the bookstore, and I can't remember the name of it or who the author was. I'm sorry, but this book exposed the whole thing to me, and it influenced me to sort of ignore the "don't try this shit at home" warnings that they would play on TV every week. And as far as I saw it, reading that book, it made it seem like anyone can do it. Perfectly doable for a group of dumbass, impressionable 12, 13-year-olds in middle school, right? So I brought it up to Chris and Robert one day during lunch that I wanted to do backyard wrestling. I had a video camera, I had some experience, like I taped.
The pinnacle of bad ideas, but
we'll get there.
Not too bad. It's been done before.
I wanted to do it, I'd tape fucking fight scenes with me and my fucking cousin, fucking action scenes and shit, which sucked ass when you think about it. But I was, I wanted to do something with fighting in front of a camera, do action scenes and shit, right? And have props and weapons and shit. Mimic it, but also give it a storyline. I was also writing a lot in those days, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to make a thing like they do on TV. I knew that it wasn't going to be real. They knew it wasn't going to be real, but the audience didn't necessarily have to know that. So I brought it up to Chris and Robert, and because backyard wrestling naturally has this reputation of being all bloody and hardcore and shit, I wanted to stray from that a little bit, do it safer. So, and also do it on a local scale. We'd go to our buddies' houses and put on shows in front of the neighborhood. That was the idea, and eventually we'd have storylines. We'd have, our whole cast, a roster of characters and shit. And it just started there.
Big ambitions for such young kids, right? Yeah.
And I made up characters, to make these stories with. I made up characters based on all of us. Chris was Johnny Ed Jones. He was a airheaded buffoon, which Chris was in those days. He still is. But he sort of evolved from airheaded buffoon to hardcore badass over the course of this. And you ever notice why I sometimes call him Ed? I call him Chris for the Chucklers. That's his real name. But I also call him Ed a lot, and have for 13 years now. If I've ever slipped up and called him Ed on a recording, now you know why, because I've called him Ed through this. That's where Ed came from. But Robert was also, he was a part of it. He was Carly C. I don't remember why we call him that, to be honest. But he changed his name later to Hershey.
Hershey.
As you can guess from the name, he was black. He was the laid-back, super cocky, He was a heavier dude than the rest of us. And he also joined the wrestling team around that time. He was the only one who actually had experience wrestling. So he tapped into that for his character. In fact, I think Hershey was his nickname from his middle school coach, or someone started calling him Hershey. And he told us about it, so we started calling him Hershey. And he focused more on grapple moves. Ed was the hardcore, hit people with shit guy. Carly was the grapple guy. So, of course, we also had a quick guy, a high flyer. Robert's neighbor, Tyler, who we called Pinky. He came up with the name. I still don't know why. I've asked him that for fucking years. I still don't know why he's called Pinky. But he was the youngest and the smallest. He was 11, and we were 13. So He was, you know, a couple years younger than us, a lot smaller. He was quick, man. That motherfucker running around, fucking, even off camera, man. That dude was hyper all the time. He was like a hyper 12-year-old Rey Mysterio, right?
Bullets.
And as he got older too, cause you know puberty and shit, he got tall and fucking bulked up. Like he was on the fucking football team and shit. So he wasn't so quick, and he wasn't Rey Mysterio anymore. He was actually a legitimate like fucking athlete, unlike the rest of us, cause we got fucking fat. And I was Richie Ramon. That was my name, the authority guy, both on and off camera. You know, I wrote the shit. I would give them shit to do. I booked the matches, and that was sort of my character on screen too. Like I was pretty much me in real life at this point. And I sometimes wrestled, not much, but sometimes, usually for like a storyline reason or something. And yeah, and usually I was also a referee. That was also my thing. Like I would be the guy. Since I wrote the shit, I knew how it was supposed to go in my head, so I'd feed them directions, sort of on the side. You know, it'd be like near fall here, or when the guy has about to tap out, I'm like, okay, 10 seconds tap, or some shit like that, you know, sort of do it out of the way so you can't
Coordinating.
Yeah, coordinate. That was my job. And then of course other people would come and go over time, but it really started with us four.
Right.
And probably from this point on, I guess it's easier if I refer to everyone with their real names, Chris, Robert, and Tyler, instead of their on-screen names, Ed, Hershey, and Pinky, or Carly, I guess now. And Pinky just might be easier to follow, because I'm going to flip-flop around, and I'm going to talk about some people as their characters would be, and some people as they were in real life. So, with those four guys on board, that's when I started planning out our very first show. So, Chapter 1. After all that, only Chapter 1. August 12th, 2005. The stars finally aligned, and we put together our very first show, which was, I think, 2 or 3 weeks before the start of 8th grade. And this was at Robert's house. And the matches themselves, I wanted to start light, right? We just threw together different combinations of the four of us and just see what worked. You know, we had a bunch of like weapons we could use, like my dad sold these flimsy ass fucking license plates, so we used these. We'd hit each other in the head with them. Didn't hurt at all, right? But it sounded good, right? Okay, there you
Sounds
go.
good there too.
Yeah. So we had shit like that. We had a sort of like replica title belts. Like like for my birthday or some shit, I'd get a world heavyweight title. You know, the big gold belt. We used that a lot. I had custom nameplates done, and we also had this big giant fucking aluminum briefcase, which everyone has signed at this point. Everyone who was ever a part of it has signed this thing. And that's what I kept it all in. In fact, I got shit in it right now. It's pretty heavy. And it was a decent show. First show. I mean, it wasn't anything great, but it was a solid effort, right? And the plan was to sort of, each time we'd meet up, because we pretty much decided after that first show, we're doing more. And we would experiment more with different things, you know, see what worked and what didn't. And, of course, storylines didn't begin until maybe 3 episodes in or 3 shows in. And once we had a good idea of what we wanted it to be like, we would just roll with that. Of course, we were always experimenting, even up until the end. But our second show took place November 12th, 2005, at Robert's new house. He moved like 2 weeks after the first show. He didn't actually go to our high school anymore. He went to another school completely. Met a whole new circle of people who would figure in later. But the main event was between myself, Richie Ramon, versus Carly C., Robert. And the winner would be crowned the first Ultimate Wrestling Champion, the big belt, the big gold belt. And we experimented with more stuff. We had music for our entrances, which were just remixed songs that I did very cheaply. With songs that, like, we used a lot of the John Cena CD that came out around that time for music. Like, Pinky had a John Cena song, Hershey had a John Cena song, Ed, I think, had a John... His was Bad Bad Man. And I didn't. I was the only one, I think, that didn't have a John Cena song. But we also experimented with, like, a fake blood. We had blood capsules. We'd hide in our mouth, and one of us would take, like, a kick, like, super hard kick to bite down and shit would dribble out of her mouth. It looked very corny looking back at it because I had to watch all this footage. And we never went that route again. But
yeah, no, it wasn't.
Long story short, it was like a 20-minute match. Carly won the belt. So that was there that we came up with the idea for a multi-man match. Because after that match, his neighbors came by and was like, "Hey, what the fuck y'all doing?" Oh, they didn't say fuck, but what the fuck y'all doing? And we decided right then and there, pull out the camera, got ourselves a match. 5-man elimination match, which actually wasn't all that fake or script. They didn't know what was up. Right. So there was a lot of stiff shots in there. I remember that. But we'll come back to that soon. That was an idea for a future match came out of that day. So from that point on, that's when I started thinking about storylines. We got ourselves a champion, and we thought, well, what would be a good first storyline? He fought me for the thing. Okay, well, make that a rivalry. Champion versus the boss. While Ed and Pinky would have their own thing, which would span a good 4 or 5 years. And because Pinky missed a couple shows in there, which we wrote it in a storyline that he hurt his shoulder or something. So he had to skip out, but in reality, he just couldn't make it those days. We thought, well, that would be a good thing, him come back, get revenge on Ed. So, but I didn't think that was enough, so I introduced the second belt, the United States Championship, another replica belt.
Right.
So all this stuff would be leading up to the finale, season 1 finale, which we called Genesis. This was before I knew about TNA having a show called Genesis, so don't think about that. We did a couple of short mini shows leading up to it, one in January, one in, I think, February or early March. But March 15th, 2006, we actually met up to do the finale. And it was the entire crew was there, plus 3 or 4 new guys. Some of them was actually part of the last show. And we shot a handful of test matches the night before, because this was Robert's birthday, which we'll get to that soon. And we have gotten to that before in the past, in the last episode, in fact. But during one of the test matches, we wanted to get the new guys up to speed. One of the guys picked up a guy and dropped him, broke his fucking arm. I mean, it wasn't a serious break. I mean, dude, he was fine. It wasn't severe or nothing. Like, he stayed the whole time. But plans had to be changed overnight. It was going to be a 6-man match. We trimmed it down to 5. But the very next day we shot 2 matches. The first one was the United States title match. Pinky, who just had the belt, didn't win it, he just had the belt, fought Ed. And Ed won the match, won the belt. Now, it's a sort of interesting story about the United States belt, which we'll get to that in a little bit. Since we had Robert as the main champion, Carly C, we thought it would be cool to have them to fight over something physical. So that's when the second belt came about.
Right.
And but that was an idea there, give them something to fight over. Main event of the show was the 6-man, later 5-man match called the Iron Fist match. Chris came up with the title. It had Johnny Ed, Pinky, Carly, his neighbor, and his cousin. And it would be, all 5 of them fight at the same time. Elimination, weapons and shit everywhere. And the idea of the match was whoever won that match would go on to face Carly for the championship later. Now, the catch to that, Carly was in the match. Now, if he won, he would get to choose his own opponent. That was established in some little short video that we recorded shortly before that. And this was never, ever seriously considered. The plan was always for Pinky to win the match. But in my head canon, if Carly won, he'd get to choose his own guy, and he would just name his fucking cousin #1 contender, and they would have a finger poke of doom match. Do you know what the finger poke of doom is?
No, I don't know what the finger poke is.
Google it. Now, it was a crazy match. Crazy. I mean, it was 25-minute long match. Weapons fucking everywhere. 2 or 3 different brawls going on at the same time. Fucking Robert's cousin, Trey, he got it the worst out of everyone, man. On 2 or 3 separate occasions during the match, he gets hit in the nuts in the worst ways. One of them, he split, he tried to do a leg drop, caught his leg and fucking did a split over his opponent and landed on his groin. Ow. And then the second time, he got the recipient of a very well placed or poorly placed, we'll let you decide, drum head that someone threw as a frisbee and hit him in the nuts. But everyone had their own moment, but in the end, Pinky was the last person standing. So, Pinky versus Carly. That was the match. We were going to do that in a later date. Now, Carly, who was eliminated kind of midway through the match, he came back out and helped Pinky win. And then at the very end, the twist was, he'd help him beat the guy. Said, good job, we'll meet you later. And then he fucking picks him up, slams him. So, yeah, that set the stage for their showdown in a couple of days. Which, fun fact, him coming back, Carly coming back to help Pinky was not scripted at all. Robert just said, well, fuck it, I'm just going to come back out and do it through the match. I was not told about this, but I thought it made for a much better ending. I thought that was cool. Set the stage for their match, because that was the plan for, God, at least 6 months before that point. So, and this was also the show, like I said, I talked about this in the very last show, where we all fucked around on Robert's bike. You remember that? The last episode?
Yeah.
Fucked around on the bike, and that led to the idea for Dumbass in 2007. So that's where the two stories are connected, that moment right there. And there's a couple moments where they come close to touching, Dumbass and WWF. They come very close, but they never actually really intersect. But to be continued. That's the end of chapter 1. So, channel updates. Do you want to read this? Because I'm tired of talking. We got the script right here.
Well, yeah. I mean, basically, there's no big major changes. Really? But we do need to talk about the changes that are being made behind the scenes. It's a big step forward for us, because after episode 11 last July, I guess Matt over here has been focusing on 2 episodes at a time. I've been basically worrying about some fucking other shit.
I don't think we should talk about that.
Let's
here.
not do that.
I'll take over.
But
for this part.
Yeah, because this is
room from my perspective.
Yes.
I started writing after episode 11 last July. I started writing 12 and 13 immediately after. First week of August, I started writing those 2 at the same time. As I was editing 11, I was writing 12 and starting on 13, but focusing on 12 because I knew going into them that I had stories I wanted to tell, and these stories required a lot of backstory and a lot of research and shit, because I don't fuck around when it comes to this. Every detail that I'm telling here, while it may be boring and fucking very cumbersome and tedious, I guess, boring to hear for the casual viewer, but I want to include them because it's very noteworthy in some cases. I want to get the details right. But I knew it'd take a long time to finish those stories, so I wanted to write this one and the last one back to back. So of course, focused on 12. But once we recorded 12 together last October, then I started focusing on 13 and started writing 14, which is coming up, I think, March, April-ish. So, yeah, man, once 12 is done, which, I should also talk about that. It's been 3 months and I've not finished episode 12. I'm sorry. I'm fucking lazy. Sorry. It may be another 2-3 months before I finish this one. But, I hope doing them one after the other and doing them 2 at a time might be a good idea to do 2 at a time. Hello, honey. This is my puppy. Maybe get a cycle going, man. Do 2 at a time. Once I finish this, man, it's going to be 14 and 15. Once I finish 14, it's going to be on to 16, 15 and 16 and 17. But I got plans up to number 20. Like, I got a bunch of stories plotted out, which, actually, Kevin, if you look over there, I have it taped on the thing, the different stories that's coming up to number 20. So he gets clued into it, too. But I like knowing what's coming up next, man. I like that there's always going to be a next one for me to look forward to. That's why I always tease the next one at the end of this one,
Yeah, we're getting to some pretty good ones, the ones that have really great fucking stories to them.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
So, it motivates me to finish this episode so I can move on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So, 20 undercovers at the least, and after that we'll see what happens. So, I may have more stories to tell. It may go in a different format. I may have more people come on. Like I said, I almost had Chris on, which would have meant, I would have done 13 with Chris and then 14 with him. Yeah. And then 15, I got somebody planned to do that with. And of course, editing the episodes, it takes such a long time, that's the longest part, really. Writing it is not nearly as bad as editing it because of the little details I make, the footage that we have at the bottom there, or the messages that go up top. I want that to be good. I want that to be on point. And if I tweak one thing, man, I got to make sure that everything else isn't affected by it. That's how editing is. But
he's anal like that.
I like having
about
that stuff,
everything, dog. But bro,
I like that, though.
I know.
It enhances...
Everybody likes that. That's why they like watching it. But the thing about it is just some things, man.
Yeah, but it enhances the storytelling
I
experience.
agree.
Being able to
I
see
would be
what
the
the fuck
same
I'm
way.
talking about right there.
Especially if all of a sudden you're like, future Matt, display the link, and you point down, and then the link don't pop up till 10 seconds later. You're like, yeah, you could have just left out.
It takes a long time, and I don't have a whole lot. I don't have a whole lot of free time.
You could have just left out the whole point. You could just be like, future Matt, point at the bottom, please, thank you very much. Bam. You know what I mean? I feel you.
Well, I got it in the script though. So I don't have to do that.
Right.
Because I edited along with the script too. But yeah, I mean, I like adding that stuff even if it takes a long time. But
it
as I include the old
fluidity.
footage, right? Fluidity. That's a good word. You don't hear it every day.
Right.
As I include old footage, though, I keep building up digital archives of all the old stuff. I've got fucking dozens upon hundreds of hours of footage that, just, the more I put on there, it gets to preserve the stuff that's been there, and that's a cool thing to have. It might be worth saving, It'd be nice to keep the shit forever. It's long after the discs break down.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's see how long have we been doing this? Excuse me, honey.
I got you.
I want to see how much we have left.
Oh.
We've been 29 minutes.
Oh, that's true.
29 minutes.
No, that ain't bad.
Ain't bad at all.
Sure, we're in good time. Holy hell. Guys, we are totally anticipating this episode to have taken at least like two and a half hours, right? So just
still
know,
might.
And it might, but according to what I've seen,
Come on.
we're about a third of the way there.
Yeah, but chapter 2 is a long ass thing.
But
and chapter 3.
we'll see. Anyway,
One was the short one. One up to
let's
punch
continue
out.
because
All right.
bam.
Chapter 2. July 28th, 2006. 4 months after Genesis, our finale, season 1 finale, I spent the meantime crafting a whole number of storylines which would take place over 10 shows between 2006 and 2007. Now, the plan was 10 shows, but I reduced it to 5 for reasons, I'll get into in a little bit. But the first show's back. We did 2 days. It was over a weekend, Friday and Saturday. It was a 2-day double card event called, the first one was Nothing Left to Lose, and the second one was Demolition. So Nothing Left to Lose was on the 28th, Demolition on the 29th. And the storyline that I had crafted was Pinky versus Hershey. So they would, build up to their match at Demolition. That was the plan. Nothing Left to Lose would set up the match further. Then we'd do a series of interviews and shit that would be included on DVD releases and stuff, which I actually did. I actually did make and sold DVDs of these shows. And that was the main storyline. Now the B storyline involved a brand new character called Shaft. Now he was a masked character, or a Jason mask. Sort of like a cross between, a ghetto cross between Kane and The Undertaker, right? Wore the mash up the mask, and but his true identity to this day has never been revealed, right? Nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows. Now, the matches were pretty much the same lineup from day 1 to day 2. Now, they were just rearranged. It was like a test run of the equipment and everyone to make sure everyone was up to speed. No one was going to make a mistake or anything like that. And plus, we wanted to just mesh with different people, see what that was like. We didn't want to do the same show twice. We wanted to change it up. So, but the storyline stuff was sort of put on the back burner. That Demolition was the storyline heavy one. Nothing Left to Lose was the action heavy one. That's sort of the thing was. Now, behind the scenes, Chris had come up with the idea of changing the United States title, right? We did it for last season, and after a grand total of one on-screen appearance, we got rid of the United States title, and instead, this was his idea, the hardcore title. Now, in hindsight, I should have made the 24/7 rule a thing. You know, the hardcore title in the WWF 24/7 rule. That made for entertaining television, and I didn't think about it at the time, and I so regret it. I wish I did, but I didn't. But he defended the hardcore title for the first time against Carly C, which at this point he changed his name to Hershey. I think this was the first show with him as Hershey. Now, Hershey's title was not on the line. He was still the other champion, but he didn't have to defend. His defense was the next day. That was the storyline thing too. That was the only storyline thing I think I did that day was, yeah, you don't get to get out of this match because we were sort of doing it where Pinky, despite being so small, was sort of kicking ass enough to where Hershey was like, man, I got this. But down, you know, like we shot a little thing with him and his cousin saying, man, I don't think I got this. Where he confided it was like a hidden camera set up.
Like the little voice in his head lied. You got this, man. No, we don't. No, we don't got this.
But I was like, man, don't worry. You don't get out of this match. Even if you lose this match, you keep your title. You're facing Pinky regardless. That was the money match, right? So he faced Ed here, and Ed won that match pretty decisively. It was not really a squash match per se, but it was pretty one-sided. And that was the start of his pretty lengthy, like years-long winning streak. Now, Pinky, where did the mask? There it is. Pinky faced Shaft here in his first match. And Hershey interfered in the end. He was set to come out there, and he speared the fuck out of Pinky, which is a highlight moment. The best bump Pinky ever took, I think, in my opinion. If you've ever seen it, it was a nasty fucking... It was legit, too. Like, Pinky didn't know it was coming.
It was
and
righteous.
That further set up the title match the next day. And I planned on paying off the Hershey thing, because Hershey and Shaft sort of had like a, yo, you pretty cool, you know, let's work together moment at the end of the match. And that was going to lead to something, but it didn't go anywhere. And that's a theme for this episode when we get there. Lots of storylines did not play out how they were planned. But
improvise.
Yeah, that was to my surprise, nothing left to lose, even though it was not thought about at all. I just rearranged the card, didn't put any thought into it whatsoever. I was just like, you, and me, fight each other. Go. And it ended up being good. I think better than Demolition in some places. But the next day, we filmed Demolition, but we were short-staffed. One of the guys that we had the first day didn't make it the second day. I think the referee couldn't make it. So we had to improvise a little bit. Yep. So that's how Little Michael was born. Now, Little Michael was played by Robert's cousin, Trey. Now, you know, he was a part of the 6-man or 5-man match back in March. He was the one who got the nut shots.
I remember you telling me about this little time frame right here where he became the...
Little Michael was a low-rent, very cheaply done Michael Jackson impersonation to hide the fact that we did not have a referee. And what he did, I had a wig, black wig, put it on, sunglasses, put it on, one of Shaft's black gloves, black leather gloves, he put on one of them. That was important, had to be just one glove. And put on a horrible, hilarious Michael Jackson impersonation. Like, hey, my name is Little Michael. You know, brushing the hair out of his eyes. Hey, I'm gonna do this match fair and square. It's gonna be right down the middle. You know, shit like that, right? So, Little Michael was the referee for the showdown between Hershey and Pinky for the Ultimate Wrestling Championship. Now, it was hyped up big time. You know, even though the shows were sort of few and far between, they were definitely hyped up IRL because we wanted people invested in it. I wanted people to buy the DVDs. I wanted people to show up for the shows. I wanted it to happen. I wanted it to work. And it was hyped up IRL for months. 4 months, you know, all summer. we started using MySpace to hype up the shows around that time. We did a lot of like in-character posts and shit on MySpace, which was kind of corny, but whatever. So Pinky, after all that, won the Ultimate Wrestling Championship from Hershey and marked the beginning of a whole new era for the UWF. Now, we shot little interview segments later that day where Hershey was the sore loser. He was all mad, mopey and shit, fucking, like, man, this bullshit, fucking bullshit. Yeah, man, this motherfucking bullshit. And he would just vow, like, he's going to get his title back and win at any cost. Even if it meant dismantling the establishment, I think was what he said. So more on that later. I actually made something out of that. I made a storyline out of that. But after Demolition, I had the idea, like I said, I wanted it to fucking work out. I wanted to expand. I wanted to do different territories, different groups of people, a second roster, but still UWF, same branding, same shit, but a whole other crew. So we could do shows more often, because really, with those guys, we had to wait until our birthdays or some special occasion to hang out, because Hershey lived far away, Chris lived far away, I've lived here the whole time, but everyone lived far away from each other. So meeting up together to do a show was a major event, usually reserved for birthdays or just events, right? So I wanted a second roster so I could keep doing shit and keep it going. So we'd still have the main group. We'd still have Ed, Pinky, Hershey, their storylines, that group. But we'd have a whole new roster, sort of like the brand split, Raw and SmackDown. Mm-hmm. Think of it like that. Separate titles, separate storylines, separate, regions. They'd have their shows in one area. We'd have the other shows in a whole other area, a whole other audience. They may be aware of what else is going on, but for the most part it'd be, separate. Why did I do this for separate? Separate. So it was my attempt to grow into something bigger, but it didn't really work out. So season 2, show number 3, October 14th, 2006, was called Hardcore Fusion. It was the first and only show with a separate roster. Now, the only person to show up from the old one was Shaft. And, he was supposed to, be the transition, the bridge between the one thing from the other. And even though he wasn't wasn't a big person at that point, right, still would be nice to have some bridge between the two rosters, and that was it. Now, future Dumbass star Austin, this was the first time I ever worked with him, in fact, was he made his first appearance here in this show, right? He faced Shaft. Now, the show was more or less a complete, total fucking disaster. And Austin ended up being the only one I ever worked with again. Of course, Dumbass. But he also did another UWF appearance a few months down the line. And of course, the plan, I think, was always going to do maybe a super card like our own WrestleMania or Royal Rumble type show with both rosters in the same place at the same time. But I don't know how that would have worked out because it didn't get there. But that would have been cool. Anyways, moving on. January 13th, 2007, show number 4. Now, before we even did Nothing Left to Lose and Demolition, I wanted to do 2 finales. I wanted it to be part 1 and part 2 for season 2. Part 1 would have been Hershey losing the title. Part 2 would have been what Hershey does to get the title back. Now, the first finale, the mid-season finale, was UWF Revolution Part 1. And then Part 2 would have been the actual finale, a few shows down. Now, we did 2 shows that day. Here, in fact. We shot it here. Johnny Ed versus Austin for the Hardcore title. Great match. And then the second match was myself versus Hershey one last time. Settled the score. We would not face each other again. And that would have basically... the story was, he's pissed at me because I wouldn't let him do put the title on the line against Ed at Nothing Left to Lose or whatever. I think it was. Some shit like that. So he's pissed at me. He wants a rematch. And I'm just like, okay, fine. But if you lose, consider yourself fucked from here on out. So the plan was always to follow Revolution Part 1 with another double card in March 2007. With 2 shows called Glory Road and the second show was Aftershock. And this would have been Hershey's birthday the next year. This would have marked the beginning of a whole new storyline where Ed and Pinky, the good guys, temporarily put aside their beef and team up with me, Richie Ramon, in their corner, like their manager, against Hershey and his guys, the heels, the bad guys, known as the Kingstown Killers. Now, it was somewhat inspired by the NWO, kind of. Not really, but kind of. They were going to be like anarchist thugs that try to stage a hostile takeover. Because Hershey's pissed that he lost the title. He wants to dismantle the establishment, win at any cost. So, he would use these guys as a tool to get the title back. He wants power. He wants to lead the fucking UWF. He wants to take me out. He thinks he could run it better than I can. That's sort of the thing. He wanted creative control. Not really in real life, but that was the story. Was he wanted creative control? He wanted my spot. He wanted to boss these motherfuckers around. So, Glory Road, which would have been show number 5. Show number 5. And then Aftershock would have been 6. So Glory Road, show number 5, would have introduced the Kingstown Killers. It was going to be a match, sort of Pinky versus somebody, and I can't remember who it was. Let's say it was Trey. Pinky versus Trey, I think it was. It's been a while. My mind blanks out. But these two guys would just show up at the end of the match. Pinky was going to put his title on the line there. And didn't matter who won. Match didn't end. These two guys fucking beat the fuck out of Pinky, beat the fuck out of Trey, the opponent. And then Hershey would show up at the very end, kneel over Pinky and say, you and me, next show. Very next day, Aftershock, right? Would have continued the story, and Hershey would have faced Pinky in a rematch. Contractually obligated rematch, let's call it. Now, the two guys, the henchmen, the Kingstown Killers, they didn't have names. I never gave them names. We weren't even going to see their faces. They would have been covered up by bandanas, and I think sunglasses and shit too. You would have never seen their faces. We would have never, ever seen their identities. But they were going to be played by two of Robert's high school friends, IRL. I didn't know the guys. I don't even remember their names anymore. I don't even know if I ever wrote them down. But they were going to play the two guys. So they would have showed up again. And Aftershock would have continued the story. And according to the script I wrote back then, because I still keep this shit, their match would have started at Robert's house. And then, with all sorts of spots along the way, they would sort of travel from the house down the road, down a corner, into this park. The park that Dumbass was spawned in. It would have ended there. And then from there, Hershey would have set up a trap. The two guys would beat the fuck out of Pinky again. But not only would he beat the fuck out of Pinky, he'd beat the fuck out of me, beat the fuck out of the cameraman. Like it is shown, the show would have ended with the camera like on its side, showing Hershey and the two guys like, yo, good shit. So, the match would have ended in no contest. No contest because everyone would be fucking laid out. Pinky would try to pin, but wouldn't fucking do it. So, that would have been a whole storyline, right? That was the plan. Hershey, Kingstown Killers versus Pinky, Ed, and myself. And that would have been like the big storyline going on for the next 4 or 5, 6 shows, which would have ended at Revolution Part 2. Now, however, about a week or two before Glory Road and Aftershock, Robert made the decision not to go through with it. I don't remember why, although I do remember it had nothing to do with the storyline. This was purely a whole other reason, which I don't remember anymore. It's been 10, 11 years now.
Right.
But he ended up leaving for good. Never came back. He left the UWF completely. Myself, Ed, and Pinky, we were the only 3 originals left from that point on. The whole Kingstown Killer storyline was scrapped, and because I didn't want to rewrite a whole 6-7 episode season, I decided, fuck it, cut it out completely. So had it played out, it would have gone on for the rest of the season, and Hershey would become more and more and more obsessed. Like, he would have rematch after rematch after rematch, different combinations of people along the way. Like, we'd have like a fatal 4-way type match with Hershey and Pinky and those guys. And we'd have matches where the I remember one of them was an idea of putting the guys in a cage. Would have the two guys locked in a cage, padlocked in a cage, so they couldn't get out. And they would get out anyway. They'd just climb the fucking cage. That was like a dog cage. That was an idea I'd thrown about. But Hershey would become more and more obsessed with getting the title back. And it would lead down to his final chances. Final fucking opportunity to get Pinky. If he lost this match, he was not getting another title shot as long as Pinky was the champion. So he would lose that match. Spoilers, but not really. He would lose the match, and the two guys, the two nameless Kingstown Killer guys, they'd become very tired of being Hershey's bitch boys. Hershey would abuse them, fucking. In fact, have you been watching SmackDown in the last 6-7 months? Do you know who Jinder Mahal is?
Yes.
And the two guys that follow him around?
Yeah.
It was basically that exactly. Think exactly that. Like, he'd abuse them sometimes. He'd fucking, beat up the guys. But one day they'd just have enough. After that final chance, after he loses his final shot at Pinky, they'd turn on him. Beat the fuck out of him. Hershey's left, beaten, lost. And then season 3 would
searching
be a whole
for
new thing.
answers.
Yeah. That's how it would have ended had it played out. But after Hershey left, I temporarily stepped away from doing those shows because Dumbass started in 2007. And I just didn't really have the drive to keep doing UWF and Dumbass at the same time. But Pinky approached me is in early July about doing another show, Revolution Part 2. So this was actually show number 5 of the 10 show season. So Pinky came up with the idea of him versus Shaft in a match specifically designed to surpass everything that we'd done up to that point. A 5-star match. That's what he called it. He said 5-star match. I want a masterpiece. Or he might not have said it, but I definitely thought it. I was, on that. So July 27th, 2007, a year almost to the day of Pinky winning the title, he was going to defend the Ultimate Wrestling Championship for the first time against Shaft. And it also worked out, too, because Shaft, his first opponent was Pinky, so he gets the rematch against Pinky, this time for Pinky's title.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a story there. Not much of one, because it wasn't really written. It was just come up, idea wasn't a story. The idea was a really good match. So we start the match and go on for, 10, 15 minutes or so.
Right.
And it's an overcast day. It's it starts to get a little overcast, and then a bit windy, and then it started thundering. And after the thunder, I don't think it ever rained. I don't know. I don't remember if it ever rained. But after the thunder, I didn't want any of the equipment to get wet, so I said, fuck it. Everything in the house right now. The music player, CD player, the weapons and shit, all back in the house. Camera, tripod, all that stuff, back in the house. So we decided, you know what, fuck it, we'll just try again the next day. We were staying overnight anyway. So, next day, well actually no, before I go to the next day, this is also kind of important. This was deep in the middle of summer. This was the end of July. It was so fucking hot inside of that house. There was no working air conditioner at all. And it wasn't just hot, man. It was muggy hot, wet hot, humid hot. And the next day, because there was a shortage of beverages, we didn't have much to drink. And that combined with 4 or 5 guys in a bedroom, nothing happening, don't worry. In fucking deep-ass July weather, fucking sweating our gonads off. We was all fucking sick and dehydrated and nauseous and just... We felt like fucking human garbage the next day. Oh my god damn now. And we still had this crazy ass match to finish, right? So we were not thrilled about that one bit. And but we got through it. We made it. Begrudgingly, I guess. So the second day, Chris had to leave early for reasons it's not important. I don't even remember. But Tyler's girlfriend at the time, Pinky's girlfriend, came over as we were about to start the match. So I wrote this little scene right off the top of my head that I would have played before the match started, where she'd be in there, wish him good luck, they'd kiss, he fucks off to start the match. And she was also the camera lady for the match, because Chris was the cameraman the first day. He wasn't going to be there. We had his neighbor, best friend, I'm not sure what. we had a friend of Tyler's, his name was Dason, was the referee for both days. So she was the camera lady for the next day. But despite feeling extremely unwell, we all finished the match. Everything goes pretty smoothly. Nobody got sick, at least. Nobody got seriously sick, at least. We were miserable, but we got it done. Pinky won, and that was the end of Season 2. To be continued. Now, that's the end of Chapter 2. So, sadly, not the end of the episode. Let's talk about fucking Star Wars, man. Dude, a lot of fucking Star Wars shit has happened since the last episode. Last Jedi has come out,
yes.
Even though we're many months late on our review. Fuck it, let's talk about Last
Dude,
Jedi.
it's fucking
You've seen
awesome.
it, I've seen it.
The Force is strong again.
You think so?
Yep.
A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people are pissed at it.
There's some
I don't understand. I mean, I do understand some of their complaints. Like the characterization of Luke and the whole casino planet not really having anything to do with the rest of the plot. I get it, but at the same time, I'm glad they took the risk. I'm glad it wasn't predictable. That was the thing. That was the only thing that pissed me off about it. And I wasn't even really pissed off. I was more just disappointed that I thought so heavily. I mean, we talked behind the scenes for fucking ever about our own theories about who the fuck was Snoke. What about fucking
I'm kind
Kylo
of upset that he just ended. Like,
that was my only gripe about the movie. Now, I'm more or less okay with Luke's fate. I kind of figured that what was going to happen was going to happen. Maybe not.
I
the way
figured it was
happened.
about time for him to go anyway. He's getting old as an actor. He don't want to.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much a certainty he's going to be in the
Right.
next one anyway. He's
Right.
going to be a ghost. That's obvious. And of course, we'll I'll talk a little bit about 9 when we get there. But I like the little things, the little moments. You know, Space Leia was kind of a bit much, but I get it. You know, she's using the Force. You know, it's a big moment. I dig it. She deserved a moment with the Force, even though it did maybe sit well with, or not sit well with some people. But yeah, what do you think? What is your ranking for Last Jedi with the other 8
What's the
movies?
scale we're talking about? 1 to 5?
1 through 8.
1 through 8.
Including Rogue One. Let's put that in there. What's our ranking? Least favorite to favorite. Start with the bottom. What's your least favorite Star Wars?
I'd have to say 3.
Really?
Yeah, just
That's my
because
favorite one.
it just seemed reprocessed.
What do you mean reprocess?
Like they okay. First of all, how the fuck is Vader? Like, if you seen Vader, the original Vader on camera, he was a big motherfucker, tall dude.
Oh, you can explain that away though. You got new limbs, man. It could be. This ain't shit to have fucking longer legs.
Okay, but this is a short motherfucker.
He ain't that short. He's what,
The
6
person
foot?
who played Anakin Skywalker was short.
I actually don't know how tall he was.
He's pretty
he
short.
Might be. But it's not that much of a stretch to imagine that when he got the new
Okay, but
fucking
he
legs that
got
foot taller.
mechanical. Forrest Gump. Really?
Why are you? What? Forrest Gump?
Mechanical legs, basically.
No.
I mean, basically, why would you make a leg bigger than your actual leg?
Fucking to make yourself look threatening. I don't fucking know.
Right. No, but
that's a
I would say
weird thing to
3
gripe
just
about.
because I thought the idea was reprocessed. You know, you had to do some explaining. I would have been okay with you not explaining Vader at all. You know what I mean? We know that Vader was a badass.
They sort of made it. They sort of had to have it happen though, by outwardly having the original trilogy be 4, 5, and 6. There had to be 1, 2, and 3. There had to be.
Yeah, but I just feel like instead of explaining about Vader himself in 3.
Here's what I think. Now this is going way off topic. This is prequel talk here.
Right.
I think Episode 1 should have started with Episode 2.
Yeah.
Anakin already as an adult. We could have him already be a Jedi. We could have him like just talk about, because a lot of the original, a lot of A New Hope Episode 4, the original Star Wars, was them talking about shit that happened off screen, and that was fine. That's all you fucking needed to see. They should have been, Episode 1 should have been basically the plot of Attack of the Clones, a teenage. You could maybe dialing back a few years, making maybe 16 or something instead of 18 or 19 or 20 or whatever the fuck you ended up being.
Right.
So you could have that, teenage angsty Anakin from the outset. That would be cool. And then Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, you could maybe have that continue off, answer shit from thing. You could have... In fact, I think I would just have Darth Maul be the villain through all three. I think he should not have died in Episode 1. He was a cool concept that he deserved more than one appearance. I thought that was a wasted marketing opportunity.
Yeah.
For an established villain, well, not established, but a brand new villain, a new Vader, a new and improved Millennium Vader, 2.0 with added spyware protection.
Right.
I wanted that when
they didn't give it to us.
They didn't give it to us.
They basically just reprocessed old ideas.
No, I'm okay with Count Dooku. I think he was a good character.
Explained old ideas.
Yeah, I think he should have just been a tool, the separate thing, instead of a full-fledged Sith Lord.
Right.
He should just be a political figure. Dog, why are you chewing that? That is wood. You don't want that.
But
yeah, okay. Episode 1 should be 2. Episode 2 should be parts of 3. And Episode 3 should be the last half of Episode 3. Dark Side Anakin. He should be the villain of the third one. And then elements of Rogue One. I'm okay with the time jump, with just showing the Death Star being close to finish, the CGI Peter Cushing. Even though in 2005 I'd probably look hokey as shit. That's how I would do it. Now, I understand why he did it the way he did it. I get it. But I think it should just be... I also think they cast Obi-Wan too young. Because... yes, you can use the thing that, 20 years in a desert planet would age you quite a fucking bit. Yeah, okay, maybe. But I just don't buy... yeah, I just don't buy that Ewan McGregor turns into Alec Guinness. So, quit biting the fucking stool, honey. Damn. I'm going to put you down. I don't want you to damn get sick from eating wood. Giggity. But I don't want... I would just have paced it a little differently. I would have Obi-Wan be a little bit older, a little bit... Obi-Wan should be the Qui-Gon of the role.
I think the contents of the movie should have been slightly adjusted.
Yeah.
Again,
But, as a whole, I don't mind the prequels. I don't shit on the prequels like other people do. I'm okay with the CGI. Yeah. I'm even okay with fucking Jar Jar Binks. Just on repeated viewings, it does get kind of grating, but... fuck, I've watched it for 18, 19 years. It's fine. Only people that are really pissed off with Jar Jar Binks are ones who didn't grow up with Jar Jar Binks, right? Right. People who were kids during the prequels get Jar Jar Binks. I was one of them. I get it. Now, back on the topic of the overall ranking. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, is your bottom.
Yeah.
What's next? What's above Revenge of the Sith?
I have to say I was a big fan of... Ooh.
So, Revenge of the Sith, then A New Hope. Past that.
Yep.
Over that.
I don't know. See, because...
I should also ask, how long has it been since you last saw them?
Asheville.
Okay, so 3 years. Okay. 3 years. It's not terribly long.
No.
I could go on with my list. I haven't thought about my list at all. So
I haven't really ranked them like that.
Yeah.
I haven't
okay, for me, Episode 2 is at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you think about this while I go through it. Episode 2 is definitely at the bottom. Not that it's a bad film. It's a perfectly adequate film. It's blockbuster cinema with some impressive CGI in some parts and some not so impressive CGI in other parts. It's fine. But the love story, I think, could have been done a little bit different. It could have been, spread out from 2 to 3.
That was my only argument with it.
But it was a necessary thing to tell. You had to show how Luke's parents got together. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Above that, I don't know. Above that, probably. I don't want to. Phantom Menace, but that one is all. It's a nostalgic favorite for me. But Phantom Menace above that, and then above that, Return of the Jedi. Again, not a bad film, but the whole Ewok thing, I tend to skip those scenes sometimes. And then above that, Rogue One. Above that, Rogue One. So yeah, so 2, 1, 6, Rogue One. Above that, Revenge of the Sith, then A New Hope, then Empire. Now, and Force Awakens. I need to add that too. Force Awakens goes above Return of the Jedi, but below Rogue One. I liked Rogue One better, and Last Jedi I would probably slot in that region. So.
See, yeah, I mean,
so let me go through this again, so I can follow. Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rogue One, Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, Empire. That's my list.
Yeah, no, I'm not going through that whole list of categorization scratch.
You don't want to? Okay.
No.
Okay, what's your favorite?
If I'm taking in the newer ones,
what's your favorite of the 3 trilogies?
I will have to go with my whole Phantom Menace, just because I'm always a Darth Maul fan. You know what I mean? I'm just a Darth Maul fan. I felt like he was a cooler damn Sith Lord than
I will be right
than
back.
Vader was. Just because I guess I was just the opposite of everybody else too. But
you guys might remember this. In fact, the
yes,
the lightsaber. Oh, don't grab it by that part.
Well,
you ever grabbed a lightsaber before?
Clearly, I didn't. It'd be some shit if you like fucking CGI me cutting off my arm right there. They'd be like, "What the fuck? He just grabbed it."
Oh shit. Okay.
But yes, this
we wrote a few years ago the story for a
Star Wars fan film.
Star Wars fan film that would have been a episode of Chuckleheads. If you remember back in episode 10, I talked about the zombie apocalypse story. That was going to be episode 1 of Chuckleheads. Episode 2 would have been Star Wars, and episode 3 would have been we need to devote a whole episode talking about Chuckleheads. That's such a good idea. I so want it to happen. I'm so disappointed it didn't, but we ran out of money at a very crucial time. So the whole reason I brought this out was this is one half of a double-bladed saber.
Yes.
This was his sword. Mine was
favorite.
purple.
My favorite.
And he was going to have the double blade because of Darth Maul. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like my favorite fucking Sith right there, yo.
And it's orange. Note the orange. Now, I totally forgot what we were going to... Okay, so Darth Maul. So Phantom Menace is your favorite.
Phantom Menace would be my favorite. By far my favorite. Just because of the fact that was like... He was... in it. I mean...
Yeah.
Hell.
What's your favorite of the originals? The first 3.
I don't know. I was big on whenever I actually seen Yoda. You know what I mean? Like
so Empire?
Yeah. Well...
That's sort of everybody's go-to, but...
Yeah, but my thing was like...
trendy to like Empire.
Okay, I started watching them like a little bit after they became big. You know what I mean? I wasn't like part of the whole roots of the people that said, "Oh, it was a good movie," and then followed the next one. And
I have good reasons for liking Empire.
I was influenced by the
which I'll get into later.
The fucking public popularity. You know what I mean? Everybody knew about Yoda.
Okay.
You're gonna kick it.
So between Last Jedi and Force Awakens, and let's group in Rogue One too. Between the 3 new movies, which one do you like the best? For me, it's Rogue One.
Okay. The Force Awakens.
Okay.
The only reason
Good
I
one.
say that is because it kind of like changed it all.
Changed it all by pretty much retelling.
Right. Again, they didn't reprocess much of an old
No.
story. They just
No,
pretty
they
much
didn't.
picked off where they were and then molded that to, one, allow the old age to become history and the new age to start paving what's
I'm like
come.
98% sure I've talked about this 2 years ago when we talked about Force Awakens. I don't actually think it's a reboot of 4. I don't think that way at all. It's different enough that it stands on its
Yeah.
own. But
Yeah.
yes, there are aspects of it that are clearly, very clearly, plain as day derived from 4.
Right.
You guys, it's fine. It's fine. I would have gotten fucking rid of Star
It's
Killer
not
Base,
the
or I would have
same
destroyed it in the first
If
act.
it's not the
That's my only
same if
gripe
it
with
leads
Force
to
Awakens.
different
That's it.
outcomes, and it did clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly, it led to a completely different outcome, which I like the fact that they.
I like the
followed
fact
through.
that Force Awakens played it safe enough to lure people back into
Yup.
it, and I like that Last Jedi, fucking
Completely left fielded it with you.
exactly.
Right.
That
Like
I can appreciate.
you're
that.
up there to bat. Like, yeah, I
But
know
there
where
are
this is
so
going.
many things
but-
about Force Awakens that made you ask questions, that made you so excited for the next one, that made you really think about Star Wars, where it was headed, because the possibilities were endless. And then it goes and does a complete left field thing, and every single one of your theories are thrown out.
Now, the fuck, Snoke.
That's the
You
only thing
supposed
I
to
have
be
wrong
this
with it.
fucking beastly ass dude who can control people, and your homie cuts you in half,
And he doesn't even see it coming.
and you do right. What?
Like, he's supposed to be this huge dark side figure. You know,
What happened to the disturbance in the force and shit, yo?
He
you
can read his mind, but
feel
he can't feel the fucking lightsaber
right.
a foot away from
A
him.
foot away from you
Fucking
moving. You
turning.
can't feel
You
that
can't feel
force use going on right around you, homie.
That's my only gripe with Last
I
Jedi.
feel like he might have been
Only
an
gripe.
impersonation.
Of what?
Being manipulated by something other than Snoke. So basically what you were seeing was what they wanted you to see.
You know,
Think about apparition, because Luke did it in the video, in the movie as well, right in front of you.
right. I'm just a little disappointed we didn't find out his story, because there's got to be something there. At least with
It's
the
gotta
Emperor.
be.
I mean, yes. Clearly, when Return of the Jedi came out, you didn't know anything about the Emperor, despite him being such a huge part of it. You saw him in one scene in Empire, and that was that.
Right.
And he was just only talked about in the one before. You didn't need to know his backstory. Yes, you can argue you don't need to know Snoke's, but we got the Emperor's backstory. Eventually, it was a major part of the.
Well, let me
prequels.
just say his backstory must not be too impressive, because
I
that
was
man
expecting
ended not
something.
long after he...
He's
showed.
basically just Palpatine Light, Palpatine Junior. You know, I don't.
He came and he went.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. What did? Can I ask you this? What did Snoke do that made him so supreme?
Yeah, we don't know. We do not know.
Well,
And
I
we
mean,
don't-
from what I've seen on screen, he's a cupcake.
Yeah,
Like,
went
really?
out like a bitch.
Like, I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know.
The other controversial thing about it. What did you think of Luke? Talk a little bit about it. Yes.
Okay.
What did you think of his characterization versus that of Return of the Jedi?
I feel like there wasn't enough screenplay for him. I feel like there should have been more. Okay, first of all, if you're supposed to be teaching somebody, granted, I know the storyline, he didn't want to teach the girl.
Right.
All right, but the girl wanted to be taught, and he picked up on that
Mhm.
towards the end, and he was like, okay, well, I'll show you some things. But then he started to notice that she had this connection with Kylo, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, no, I see the dark side. And stop tripping, okay? Because you can't have light side with the dark side, for one.
What I don't understand, and sure, you can argue with me all you want to about it. Not just you, the comments, people watching. I just can't believe that someone who saw good in Darth fucking Vader would give up on Kylo Ren. And he was not even turned. You can make a very concrete argument that had Luke not fucking whipped his Jedi dick out, he would have prevented the entire dark side fall of Ben Solo. Yeah. And yeah, you can. I know one of the books or something talks about Snoke already being in the picture at this point, but the movies don't tell you that.
But I mean, hell, if the dude is teetering now, if he is on the brink now,
like, I would understand it if he'd already done something terrible, like killed somebody and tried to cover it up.
I mean, damn, the kid was asleep for all we know. He was fucking dead ass asleep. What the fuck am I doing? Dreaming that I'm gonna stick your ass with a lightsaber? My bad. Damn.
That's my only. Well, okay. I've been saying that's my only gripe. There's a couple gripes.
There's more to
maybe
it, but I mean, simply, like, man, look, it was a good movie. Yeah.
It was decent, yes.
Some things...
It ticked all the boxes of being an enjoyable
movie-going experience. It did give us something to look forward to.
Yes.
I can't wait to see what happens next.
Right.
Although...
What do you think will happen next? At the risk of being completely wrong when 9 comes out, what are your predictions?
I got a feeling that old little lady's Rey's little fight with the dark side is not done. I feel like we could potentially see her turn a little bad. I've already seen it when she gets upset in the movies. You know, she gives in to what the Jedi say you don't. And that's your emotions.
Anger.
You control them. You control your emotions enough to know that you can't get mad, you can't get sad, because they're going to use that. They're the epitome of that. They use anger, hate.
That also made them short-sighted and ineffectual.
Well, it does. But now, would you say that about Kylo? No.
But you can also say that maybe that's why.
I mean, that man was literally getting the shit talked about him, and instead of being foresighted and getting so angry,
what I'm saying is maybe it's not such a bad thing that she's showing emotion when she does it. If preventing that is what caused the Jedi fall,
maybe
stifling,
maybe. But you would think with the Jedi being the people that are like for peace, they would want to feel all of those emotions, being in touch with the Force.
I think they just don't want anger. They
right,
shut out anger and greed and jealousy and that shit.
But I mean, with both of those feelings, you get some strength from it. And yes, that is a Sith statement. But on the flip side, how can you have anger?
I have a couple.
Or happiness and not anger.
Yeah, I have a couple theories of where it could go, and like I said, I could be very, very fucking wrong.
Yes, we both could.
Theory number 1 is that Rey will be a Jedi, but she will also maybe get some dark side stuff, like maybe be balanced, you know, sort of realizes there's something better than a Jedi, or sort of evolve the Jedi into something else. Sort of how we've moved past the Sith, maybe move past the Jedi. Ooh, yeah, get her down off of that. Something like that. Theory number 2. Anakin Skywalker reaches out to Kylo Ren. And it will be dude from the prequels. I'm sorry, I forget your name. I think that he's exactly the right age. He could pull it off again. Being an older, wiser Anakin Skywalker.
Older, wiser.
As a
Do you think it would be bad or good?
I'm not sure.
I mean,
I would think good because he's a Jedi again, but I'm sure Vader still lives in his soul, much how, you got. It still.
But now let me ask
this: he still has the experience of being Vader, despite.
I don't see it going that way. I think they would feel like they were killing their own storyline that way, though, because
but
if he touches,
you got to assume that Episode 9 is the end of the Skywalker saga, a trilogy of trilogies. I can assume that this is going to be the end of that particular storyline. So it would make some sense to make it about Darth Vader again, bring him back in a meaningful way. And of course, I also expect Ghost Luke and maybe Ghost Yoda or Ghost Ben to show up. Maybe
Yeah.
not Ghost Ben. I'm not sure how they could do that.
I hope they start a new Jedi order,
Yeah.
and then I hope that what was their title? What was their title? The
What?
bad guys.
Oh,
First Order.
Yeah,
The First Order. I don't think that's gonna stick too long. I don't think the First Order is gonna. It's gonna change back to something like the Sith or all that shit.
Yeah.
How they have those little key
I like how they sort of brought back the rebels in this movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's
Like,
going
they-
to transition back
they-
to something like
Yeah,
that again.
Rebels versus Empire again.
And I hope they do, because you kind of got to separate the good from the bad. And in a sense, because in this last one, you had correlation between the bad person and the good person, which inevitably some argue that if Rey and him had never had that little moment right there at the little,
Yeah.
the
Because
first
you can't
temple.
deny that there was some connection there.
Yeah, I mean,
Despite
clearly.
it being a thing
Right.
by Snoke to
So
link them together as a trap.
with that little connection there, one argues that that's
Yeah.
where their whole
They
yes,
got to understand each other.
you're going to do this and you're going to kill her, and that'll complete your training. And he's like, well, and this is what my other statement's about, because in order to fully become what I remember the way it used to be, you were an apprentice until you took out
The Master.
the man above you.
Yeah.
And
And that was the bad guys' thing.
right, that was the
killing
bad guys
each other.
thing, is we kill each other, but on the flip side, when we kill each other, it's only because you're weaker than this guy, and if this guy is supposed to be able to kill all these people, he's got to be stronger than all of you.
Yeah.
So if
And
you're
that
weaker
even
than
that
him,
still lives today. You
Right.
know? Hux
So-
and Kylo. You know they.
Right.
Remember the moment where Kylo's dead on the floor and he acts like he's about to pull his gun out and shoot him, and then he wakes up, and he's
right, right.
Puts it
It's
back.
like, so
so that could very well be a
I
thing.
see that transpiring, but I'm when I think try like storylines as to
I
how
don't
that
think it's
could
that
go.
simple though.
Yeah, I don't either. But I don't want to get too far into
Yeah.
it, because
We still got
I get lost.
well over a year to do that.
yeah, I mean,
We got some time.
we got some more videos.
We'll revisit
s-
this topic
Yeah.
when episode 9 comes.
Although I will say this, probably going to transition to another portion of it. These reruns, these spin-offs, the again, just as I was saying it before, the reusing of the old content. Look,
Well, I can understand Rogue One. Rogue One fulfilled its purpose. It needed to look the way it did.
It needed to.
It filled the purpose of
bridge
being the
some
40th
things.
anniversary of the original.
Right.
It had to look
do
the way.
something.
Right. It was
to-
a
to-
fantastic movie. Ticked again all the boxes
Perfect.
of being a great cinematic experience. Had a lot of surprising moments. Had a lot of unpredictable moments. But I have no enthusiasm whatsoever for the Han Solo spinoff. I'm sorry. I'm not excited. Even though it's 4 or 5 months away.
Yeah.
I can't get excited for it, man. I don't like the idea of doing a movie about an established character and not have the actor come back. Recasting the oldies, which I hate to say is going to be a reality. We're probably going to see a young Luke Skywalker recast with somebody else.
See,
It's probably going to happen.
This is where I get into that whole thing of
And,
why
yeah.
are you refabricating old stories?
Yeah.
Like, leave the shit in the past.
That's my only thing. Like,
These past
I
two
just want-
movies
I
have
want a
set
Boba Fett
the
movie.
future.
I want a Boba Fett movie today, right now. I want to be looking the screen right there that I'm looking at, the lens. I want to be watching a Boba Fett movie right there, right now. That's how much I want a movie like that. I don't want to see fucking. I'm sure Boba Fett's going to have a fucking moment in this movie. Obviously they're building up to a fucking Boba cameo, and I swear if I'm wrong, they're shooting themselves in the foot.
I will say
by
this:
not
that
doing
was
that.
one character that they should have never strayed from, because he had a damn good storyline
and
behind
he went
him.
out also like a bitch.
Yeah. What? 1-2 movies you heard about him, seen the man once or twice?
I want a movie that does not revolve around the central characters. I want world building. I want to see parts of the galaxy you've never seen before. alien races you've never seen before,
Right.
mixed with alien races we've already seen. It's all one thing. Why are you growling, dog? What are you doing?
Again, I agree, right? Like,
I just don't have much excitement for it. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
refabbing old shit is not,
Yeah.
like, that plagues us
I
nowadays anyway.
I hope they learn from the performance of this, because I'm pretty sure it's not going to do anywhere near as good as the other three that's come out. I hope they learn not to do that. If the Obi-Wan, I've heard that there's going to be like an Obi-Wan spin-off at some point, which I hope there is. Ewan McGregor is the perfect age to do between 3 and 4. Like early years on Tatooine, immediately after Revenge of the Sith. Perfect. Let's do it. You know, I don't want to see a recast Han Solo or a recast Lando. Even though the casting for Lando is perfect, it's exactly who I would have picked. I still don't want to see it. You know, I just hope they don't keep doing that. I hope it's a one and done experiment and it does not work out.
Yeah, I hope they.
As a
I hope
fan,
they continue on and stop going back. That's.
What do you think about the new trilogy? They're the what's his name? Ryan Johnson, his new trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Iffy. TBD. To be determined.
way too
That's
early
all,
to think.
Yeah,
to think much about it.
It's
But,
all
I mean,
talk for the moment.
I'm a fan of his as a director.
It's gonna
as a
happen.
writer.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, there's no way it's not.
It's not like it's not gonna happen, but it's just all talk. Like you could throw a stone any way you want to. I'm not in it until.
I just hope it's something different from what we've got.
Yes.
That's all I hope. I hope for Star Wars movies that bends Star Wars, and you see more. You know, each and every star out there is a story. You know what I mean? There's all sorts, endless, infinite amount of stories. You could tell Star Wars stories until the end of time. You know, and they probably will. I'd seriously doubt they will end Star Wars anytime soon, at the very least. And if they do end it, they'll just fucking reboot it, because that's what fucking Hollywood
Dude,
does.
Star Wars ain't gonna die ever since the fucking idea of the Force.
I just hope that it evolves past what we've gotten. Because every film so far has revolved around the Skywalkers or people connected to the Skywalkers, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I hope for. That's all I can hope for. So Kevin here, this is the last bit of Star Wars we're going to do, and then we're going to continue the story. You've got Battlefront 2, right?
Yes.
What did I say right? I've fucking played it.
Fun.
Fun.
It's fun.
I want the game.
I'm a better pilot than anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good with the fucking the characters like Darth Maul.
Decent on assault rifle
Palpatine.
too.
I'm
but
good as hell at them. I
other
can
than that,
fuck people up.
I'm okay with the assault rifleist and the assault class, and TIE fighters suck. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you. TIE fighters suck. They got pretty much their beep 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 beep, but then they got the little fucking proton missiles, and they lock on. But I mean, hell, everybody has different cards, and then if you put this card on there, you can have a flare that and blocks a fucking lock on missile, and you only get one with the TIE fighter. Now the interceptors, they're fucking beast, okay? Because no, sorry, I got it backwards. The TIE fighters have a ability. It's called a heat sink. They don't have the proton missile. They have a heat sink. So basically, their little beep 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 turns into beep 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 beep, like fast, and like one hit marker counts as like 3. So it takes about 6 hits to fully take out a jet. But if you hit them with about 3 of the burst with the heat sink, you're done for.
Right.
But now one thing that's hard is
played
heroes
much of it
versus
myself.
villains. Okay, heroes versus villains is crazy. But the only couple games I've played with, I had 2 people on my team just standing there, and it was me, Yoda, and I can't remember who the other person was. I was Luke, and he was Yoda, and the other team was fucking Boba Fett. Sucked, okay, because we had 2 people with guns, and one of the commanders, Phasma.
Oh, okay.
Phasma. Yeah, Phasma. Can't remember what the other guy was. Boba Fett was one of them because he was using his fucking wrist rockets. And then you have Vader and Darth Maul. Luke and Yoda. Vader, Darth Maul, Phasma, and Boba Fett? What? Our dude over here in the corner just, I guess it was asleep. His character's just looking up in the sky. What is this? We got beat. That's the only 2 matches I've played because every time that somebody would quit and it was very badly one-sided, but that was just because they were bad.
Yeah.
I've only won 1 game of it. It was pretty awesome. I love it, but I'm preoccupied here recently. So I will be streaming that, by the way. I have been streaming a little bit more.
We'll get to that at the very end.
But I will be streaming that
put a pin in that
at a little bit later time. I've been recently trying to find people that I could play it with. A couple of my ARC friends decided they were going to pick it up.
Okay.
Smugly and EMP.
Mm-hmm.
They got it now. So I told them, I was like, when I get on it and whenever I start streaming it, I'm going to hit y'all up because we get us a little squad together. We're going to dominate that little thing, boy. Cause it's serious when you can run off 40 kills and pretty much take over an entire game just because you're in one spot and they don't know how to get you out. And all you got to do is just keep hide, reload. Reload. Your little yellow bar, overclock your weapon. Yeah. You hit that bad boy and just come on. You don't have to worry about reload. You don't have to worry about nothing. Extra damage. You just light them up. Anyway, sorry. Got carried away. Star Wars does it to me every time. Fucking love it. Check it out. Battlefront 2. It's pretty fucking fun. It's Battlefield, just Star Wars, people. That's it.
Alright, I'm going to cut here. See how much time we got.
Roger.
And do part 2.
Going to check.
Also, let me give you some space. How beautiful you are. Let me back up.
All right. Test 1 2 test. Excellent.
Hello.
All right. So I got some of the beer right here just for this. Roll 2. C2. Take 1. There we go. Perfect. 2 hours, 21 minutes left. Alright. So in the video it says 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds. This is the Chucklers Undercover, episode 13. Roll 2, scene 2, take 1, and wapow!
Wabow. Yes.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alrighty, alrighty.
Alrighty. We ready to roll.
We ready to roll. Alright, let me get this cracked open.
Can just see me good.
Alright. So, continuing from where we were. So, yeah, sorry about that. We had to take a break there for about 2 hours there. We had to run and pick some people up and drop them off places, and then go pick some more people up and drop them off places. It's pretty much the way we spent the last 2 hours. So, back, we're a little bit, it's a bit moist outside. So, and I went to the store and grabbed me a Blue Moon.
He said
So
moist.
I'm gonna see myself through this. So chapter 3, story time. June 27th, 2008. After an 11-month hiatus while I was busy doing Dumbass and working with Falling Fate and a bunch of other stuff that's gone on in all of our personal lives in the meantime, we meet up to begin season 3 of the UWF with a show we called Block Party. Now, there wasn't much of a plan going into it. Because of the whole everything else going on, I didn't actually focus on the storyline. I thought that would be something that would happen a little bit later, as actually this show began the storyline. The way this show ended up set the course for the whole rest of the season. So there was only one match planned, but we ended up doing 2 for reasons we'll get into. the main match, match number 1 we did was a 3-man elimination match for the title between Pinky, Ed, and what's the mask at? Shaft right here. And actually, it was a different mask. I used a black mask after that. So that was a pretty standard thing. I need to do this. There we go. Actually, I'm gonna need to fix that. Why is this not? Aha, there we go. So yeah, the match was actually pretty simple in the planning. You know, it was just methodical. We'd start 3 people, have some weapons. Chef gets eliminated first, then it's down to Ed and Pinky, and of course Pinky won that. And the idea was sort of to restart Ed and Pinky's rivalry from a couple years ago. That I don't know, it just sort of seemed like the natural way to do things, you know, because frankly, Ed was the only one that didn't have a run with the title, except for me, but I don't count. And it was, you know, it just seemed like the way to do. Hershey was gone, you know, his guys were all gone, so we just left to pretty much start over with what we got, you know, the original 4. But of course, I didn't really have a storyline in place. That was just sort of where it was headed. And so it was during the match, towards the end of the match, when it was still Pinky and Ed, and I was off, I fucked off. There was a group of people started to come around. It attracted the neighbors, at least the neighbors between the ages of 8 and 18. They all come around, flocked around, watched the end of the match, and then when Pinky won, we didn't want to leave the people hanging. They just saw 5 minutes of a match. So they were just like, well, fuck it, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. So they start fighting. Now, we have weapons, you know, of course, as we always do. Fuck, it's over there. You know, stuff like the briefcase and the flimsy license plate and the popcorn can lid. You know, the can of popcorn here. Yeah. Take the lid off, you hit someone with it. It makes a satisfying ding when you hit it, and sounds good, doesn't hurt a bit. So we use stuff like that. But one of the weapons that we had, you know, they were all gimmicked in some way to not really hurt, but it makes a really good sound. It looks good. You can hit someone with it as hard as you can and it not do any damage. So one of those weapons was a wooden baseball bat covered in barbed wire, and it was like leather shoelaces or moccasin laces that were tied in a way that looks like barbed wire, rusty barbed wire, because it was painted. And of course it was brown, spray painted with silver, so it looked like rusted over barbed wire. And from a distance, you know, from the vantage point of the people watching, it looked real as shit. But it was really just a Halloween decoration, but the baseball bat was very real. It was extremely real. And that was just the cushion, the blow of the baseball bat. You know, barbed wire didn't hurt one bit. It was leather. But both of them sold it like it was real, you know, like they were getting pricked with the barbed wire. Like whenever they touched it, they're like, oh, you know, their fingers. And during the match, the barbed wire, the leather shit came off the bat. And so it was, Pinky had the barbed wire in his hands, like whipping Ed with it, while Ed picked up the fucking baseball bat, and in probably the dumbest decision of Chris's life up to this point. I'm sure he's... No, I don't know. I doubt if he's done anything as dipshit as this moment. But chucks the baseball bat. Unprotected wooden baseball bat. Pops Pinky.
Pop.
Right. Tyler was knocked out instantly. And, you know, like he's knocked out. And you could look, like watching back the footage in slow motion, you can pinpoint the moment where the lights went out. And god damn, man. He you know, he's face down, so he's boom, knocks forward, falls on his face, and then he's out for a second. Chris breaks character, goes up, and says, "Yo, what's up?" Pinky looks up, blood every fucking where. I mean, it's like a horror movie. it was so bad I didn't want it to be seen on camera. So I purposely
And
I
that was the whole
cameraman.
purpose of recording this shit.
I was the cameraman, and I was so grossed out by it. I was like, the show was over. We sent everyone off. We all broke character. We fucking went out and got towels and tried to stop the fucking bleeding. It looked like a horror movie, man. I shit you not. I mean, it left a huge gash over his eye. It requires something like 8 stitches to close it all. Because it was like, we didn't exactly have permission to fucking wrestle at the house.
Right.
It wasn't like we could, this was planned at all. This was just Ed being a dipshit. To be continued. This was Ed, who, I'm just not.
I'm just mad now. Bop! Oh! I could just imagine that. I could see Chris
No.
doing a dipshit thing like that.
Yeah, after we stopped the bleeding and wrapped his head in a makeshift bandage, which I think was a bandana. I think he had a bandana or a hat or something. We took him to his friend's house down the road from where we shot it, which was Chris's new house. Which, in fact, the place that we shot Block Party is a location that we'll talk about and you have seen in past/future Undercover. So we're getting closer to Chuckler territory here. This is a location that is very important to the history of the Chucklers. But anyways, this is the very first time we ever shot anything there, in fact. But we were like trying to get our stories straight, right? Tyler was like, "Listen, man, I ain't supposed to be wrestling. Now that I'm hurt, man, I got to go to a hospital. I'm just going to tell him," because he had a skateboard with him. He was skateboarding down the road, fell and busted his head on the curb. That was the story that we told the people that took him to the hospital. And as far as I'm aware, it's been 10 years. As far as I'm aware, that's the story that
And they
everyone
stuck
knows.
to it.
Yeah. So if anyone who was involved in this particular incident knows what the fuck I'm talking about, and this is the first time you've ever heard of this, sorry. But
They lied.
we lied. So he I don't know if they ever learned that. I don't know. But that's what happened. So they took him to the ER while Chris and I headed back to his place to regroup and clean up the crime scene. There was a lot of blood, dude. A lot of blood. We had to get rid of all the fucking weapons and debris that had scattered around the place from the 2 matches. We had to make sure nobody left no evidence there. Like the people who was there. Like we make sure they didn't bring no trash. Like it was... I remember it being very sketchy. Because his dad was asleep down the hallway. And so we were very quietly shitting ourselves. And but after the trip to the ER, later that night, he came back to Chris's house, like the people at Tookie Bear, dropped him back off. And he was fucked up on morphine. Dude wanted to come back. This was like 11 at night. He wanted to go back out there and finish the fucking match. And we had to tell him no, and I'm pretty sure he was legit pissed about that, because he wanted to fuck Ed up, I think. He wanted to go back out there. He wanted to give Ed the same fucking scar. But, no, he never did. I mean, yeah, I think he was pissed about being held back. But he never lost his cool, like, outside of that night. He never fucked Ed up. And I would have let him. I would have let him. Like,
I'm pretty sure if he wanted to hard enough, you wouldn't have stopped him.
oh no, like I was totally like, listen, man, that was our bad. If you want to fuck him up, I'm going to turn my back. I'm going to let you do it. I told him that. I was like, because the rematch, it was going to happen regardless. Like, the rematch, before they even did that was where it was headed. So now there was a very real reason and very real fucking motive behind the rematch, because we worked that into the storyline. He fucked Pinky up. Pinky's gonna fuck him up back. That was the whole lead up to their rematch. So, time jump. We laid low for about 6 or 8 months after that. So February 9th, 2009. Fast forward, It's Tyler's birthday. I forget how old he was there. 15 maybe. And we met up to do a show called Collision Course. This was the follow-up to Block Party, show 2 of season 3. So we were going to celebrate the occasion, and we were going to go back to the very site of the very first show, which was Robert's old house. Pinky was Robert's next door neighbor, lived in the same lot. It was just a short walk away. We were going to do matches there. It would have been cool, like bring it full circle, because we were winding down at this point. It was decided ahead of time. Season 3 was going to be the end. We were getting too old for this shit. So we had 2 matches planned for Collision Course. The first was the 5-man Iron Fist match. Remember that from season 1, 2006. 5-man with Hershey. The winner went on to face Hershey for the belt. If Hershey won, he got to choose his own opponent. Same rules apply except for the choose your own opponent. Pinky was not in the match. Idea for this time was whoever won that match immediately goes on to face Pinky in match number 2. So winner of Iron Fist goes on to face Pinky for the title right then and there. No preparation, no relaxation between. It's one and go. It was a gauntlet. Now, the other major difference was instead of everyone starting, because that was fucking chaotic the first time around, having 5 people and all that brawl, cameraman couldn't keep up. So we were going to do it like the Royal Rumble. Every 5 minutes, somebody else comes out. You start with 2, next person comes out, next person comes out, next person comes out. 5 people. So, 20 minutes?
Right, yeah.
15 minimum, let's say. And whoever, last person standing, of course, pinfall, submission. There was no DQ, pinfall, submission, you're out. So, the match was complicated, as you can imagine, leading up to the thing, because I was pretty adamant on some people from the past showing back up. The big one was Hershey. I really wanted him back. We had mended, we'd rebuilt the bridge in the meantime after whatever it was that led him to leave for the first time, which I'm not lying, I don't remember. But we went as far, me and him actually shot something together, me and Hershey. We went and shot him a thing saying, yo, Pinky, I'm back. Let's settle the score or some shit. Something to play right before he pops back out, because Hershey was going to be, had he done it, number 5. He would have been the very last person in the match, and it would have been a huge shock, and it would have been cool. I'll take a sip. Now, Ed was also given to be in the match. It was all building up to the one-on-one Ed versus Pinky. Not at this show. Somebody else would have won this match. But he would have been there, and it would have built up to it. Like, he'd come very close to winning. He'd have been the last one eliminated, I think. So, yeah, he would have started the match. It would have been him and someone else, and he would have lasted up until the very end. That was the thing. He came so close to winning this thing, and, that's important. But, yeah, Hershey couldn't make it that day. It was huge disappointment at the time. I remember being so bummed out, and it came that close to happening. But in Hershey's place, very last minute, I asked some of the dumbass cast members, because this was, not long, a couple months after we finished filming, so I was still in contact with a bunch of them. So I asked a bunch of them, not all of them, but a bunch of them, if they would come by, help out for a weekend. And I won't say who I asked, because none of them showed up. But except for Alex. Alex actually did show up, but he was not a part of the show. He did not wrestle. He was a cameraman. And we also shot new footage for Dumbass then, in fact. You remember the scene where Alex fights the green ball in the bedroom? And he's like... and he takes them. That was shot that weekend. So, that was actually shot the night before the matches. But Tyler, because it was his birthday, got some of his friends involved too, so... I asked a couple dumbass people, and he got some of his friends to show up too. I didn't know the guy, but apparently one of the friends was already familiar with our stuff. He wanted to do a match with us for, I guess, some time. I'm not exactly sure how long, but this was his opportunity to do so. I was like, sure, fucking bring him on. Which, of course, I don't remember his real name. That was fucking 9 years ago. But I remember he was going to go by the ring name Massacre. Because of his enthusiasm for the thing, I was going to have him be a part of the 5-man match. But not win. He was not going to win. One of the dumbass guys was going to win. But I won't say who, because they did not show up. The main event, a one-on-one match, 1v1, Pinky versus the winner, was super easy to plan out in comparison. of the 5-man match. The 5-man match was a nightmare because not only did I have to get 5 people there, but I had to run them down on how the match was going to go. I had certain spots lined up, and it was going to be, start in Pinky's backyard, and then we was going to travel to fucking from the first show, do a couple spots at the old place, and then come back and finish the match there. That was the plan. And so once that match was over, Pinky would come right out immediately. Guy would win. We'd play his music. Pinky comes out immediately, belt in hand, gives it to the referee. Boom, ding, ding, ding. Start the fucking match, right? So the idea was for one of the new guys to score a clean upset against Ed at the very end, and give the guy 20 seconds to celebrate. Then Pinky comes out and they start the second match. The challenger would come kind of close, pretty close, super close, let's say, to winning the match, until Ed, who got screwed out of his chance, shows up, interferes, attacks both him and Pinky. Match ends. Pinky keeps the title. That's how it was going to play out. Ed and Pinky would brawl at the end, setting up their final showdown at the finale, the final show called End of the World. The stage would be set. Now, the guy who got screwed out of his title, the winner, would eventually got in a rematch against Pinky, clean rematch at a later date, at the next show, I guess. But Pinky would have won that one had it happened. Problem was, Collision Course did not play out that way at all. The day of, we meet up at Tyler's house. It was myself, Tyler, obviously, Chris, Dason, the referee, Alex, the cameraman, and Massacre. Now, the other 3 people in the match, including the cast members, no-showed. Now, I eventually got in touch with one of the guys, one of Pinky's friends, who was also one of my friends. I had a class with him. As it turned out, he broke his wrist that day. And like this, he had a camera phone, and he emailed me a picture of his wrist in a cast as proof that he was hurt. So I was like, okay, you're fine. You're off the hook. But one of the dumbass cast members, won't say who, gave me a fake phone number and I mean to this day, never hit me up again.
Still damn lost.
Yeah. Never. I called the number he gave me, and it was someone else that says, dude, I don't know this guy. Who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? And I dialed the number again to make sure I didn't fuck it up. Same guy. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? That was bullshit, I thought. I was pissed. Never fucked with him again. So I tried calling on Austin, dumbass star, former UWF star. I called on him to be the replacement for the guy who was going to win, and as I sort of expected that day, he was busy with other people, couldn't make it. And the other guy, the 5th guy, the other dumbass cast member, got lost on the way over and I had no way to get in contact with him. I didn't have a cell phone, and I don't think he did either. So he gave up trying to look for the place because it was kind of out of the way. It was out of the fucking way. So, and I just wasn't up to doing a show like that half-baked. I had the storyline planned out. I had the match planned out meticulously. I did not want that to go to waste. I didn't even want it to be fucking delayed a couple weeks because I didn't know. Again, we had to plan around very specific events. Pinky's birthday was the perfect time to do it. I didn't want to do it any other time. I didn't want to wait. I wanted it to happen then and there. And because it didn't, I got pissed. I got real fucking pissed. I got stubborn. I was like, listen, I'm not doing the show if it's going to be like this. And it got to the point to where I didn't want to come up with a backup plan like that on the spot with who we had. I just said, fuck it. And Collision Course became End of the World. The planned last show of the season, Ed versus Pinky for the title right then, right there today with no preparation whatsoever. I did not book the match at all. They had the camera. Me, I was the referee. Dason and Alex were the cameramen. We had 2 cameras that day. And yeah, that was it, man. I was, that was my unwillingness to do it, I guess. So now the plan was always 4 months. The plan was always for Ed to win the title from Pinky at End of the World. Even before the eye thing happened, even before all of this went down, that was the plan. Now, I wanted to have Pinky fuck Ed up. I wanted there to be a real fucking thing there. But I still wanted Ed to win with the title and give him a solid fucking run with the belt. Even if it was for even if that was it, even if he retired the champion and that was the end of the last show, that was how I wanted to do it. He was the one who needed to hold the belt. He was the only one of the original 3-4 that didn't. So that was the plan. And oh man, I totally forgot about the hardcore title. Here's what happened with the hardcore title. After Pinky got his eye fucked up, the very next day, after he came to and he was off his fucking pain meds, he woke up the next day, stitches in his eye at Ed's house. Chris, in character and out of character, we shot a little thing where he gave Pinky the hardcore belt. So Pinky had both belts at this point. So we became the Ultimate Wrestling Championship, and the Hardcore Championship became the Grand Slam Championship. Yeah. So, yeah. It was always the plan to merge the two titles into a super title or whatever the fuck, because I didn't want to, with such a shallow fucking roster and one real storyline, there was no need to have two belts. So that was always the plan. Eliminate one of the titles, make one person hold two. That was cool. Now, the multiple titles were even, like, they were really meant for when we had the multiple rosters and having the two crews doing their thing, which was abandoned, of course. So I regret doing that on Tyler's birthday of all days, having him lose his belts. But we did End of the World exactly how it was planned from the outset. At least as little as it was planned. We did it how it was, sort of lined up. And that wound up being Pinky's final appearance with us. And it wasn't because of that reason. It was, he had football stuff, like he was, he was busy. He was fucking busy that whole stretch. He could, even if we wanted to, he couldn't have done it.
After school, it was practice.
And after he had no free time
home
whatsoever.
and work, classwork, all that crap.
So yeah, it just wasn't happening. Regardless.
Life.
And there was a point where I considered End of the World the final show. I was like, well, fuck it. The story's finished. All the loose ends, even those that wasn't really loose to begin with, they're tied up. Fuck it. That was it. But new ideas kept coming. I'd watch something on TV or something. I thought, fuck, that'd be a good idea to do. So I kept getting ideas, and it got to a point where I was like, fuck it, I'm not done. There's still shit I want to do. So Ed's got the title. What's the next thing you do? You turn him into a bad guy. Pinky's the good guy anyway. Ed was not really bad guy, but he wasn't really good guy either. Fucking turn him heel. Fucking make him despicable asshole Ed. That was the next step after him winning the title. Even though at one point, him winning the title was the end. So, that was more reason, for me at least, to keep on writing. Let's write asshole Ed. So, April 17th, 2009, we do our first show since End of the World. I wanted to take another break from the UWF anyway after End of the World, because I wanted to focus on a band that I was in at the time called Hemispheres. Now, one day, actually it'll probably be a few episodes from now, but in the future I do want to talk about that band and all the other bands that I've been a part of. We'll get Scotty in here with that. We'll talk all about that. But Hemispheres happened around that time, so I took a break from UWF until one day I came up with the idea, fuck it, let's do a UWF show and then have a live performance by us at the very end. We'll get a small group of people there and just fuck it. It wasn't really thought out. It was thought out in 2 days. Tuesday I had the idea, Thursday we shot it. That's how that came about. So, we named that one Redemption. Now, Shaft made his final appearance at this show, but that's a whole other storyline that did not play out, that should have played out, which would have eventually led to Shaft turning into the good guy, and he would be the challenger for asshole Ed. Now, this would have been their first meeting, and it would have led to something else. But it did not lead to anything else, so Shaft was done after this show. In October of 2009, a few months later, we were going to do a sequel to Block Party. Block Party 2009. And that, even though it probably would have been the last one, it would have been, a yearly thing, it would have been cool. And even if we kept doing UWF for years and years and years, that would have been the thing. So we shot a sequel for Block Party. It was October 16th, I think, in 2009, and yeah, let's not talk about that. I think that's an even bigger disaster than Hardcore Fusion was, and if Chris was here, he would explain why. Long story short, the guy who we had him face was not. He thought it was real, gave the guy a fucking concussion. That's the short story. Ed got hurt badly. So, and he broke his fucking nose too. He had to have his nose fixed. That was fucked up. So,
Chris got his ass kicked, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about Block Party. Plus, you've heard enough at this point. I'm about done talking.
Yeah, dude, he got his ass kicked.
We're near the end of the story anyway, so don't worry. We're almost
I
done.
just know. Take from it what you will. Chris got his ass kicked.
Block Party 2009 was retconned out of existence completely. It does not count. The footage no longer exists.
Oh, it counts.
It will never see the light of day.
But
No,
it
it does.
counts.
It does not count. Nobody will ever know. Besides the small group of people in this room that is watching the video
But we
and
will
talking
know.
about shh. It did not happen. Men in Black flashing. Now that Johnny Ed was champion, we were going to turn him heel. Asshole Ed was about to rear his ugly head. Now, that would have ended up leading to a power struggle storyline, which would have been a rehash of the aborted Kingstown Killer storyline with Hershey the year before. No, 2 years. No. Yeah, 2 years before. 2 years later, we were going to rehash that storyline, but with Ed instead of Hershey, and instead of the Kingstown Killers, it would have just been Ed being an asshole, just being an anarchist, basically. I would put shit up in front of him, challenges for him to beat, he'd fucking kill the challenge. You know, and act like an asshole doing it. So, January 6, 2010, we, with a new storyline in the works for Asshole Ed, I wanted to make a short mini show to kick it off. We called it Prelude to Whiplash. Whiplash was going to be the show after that. And this one was not really a show, not really. There wasn't any matches, it was all storyline stuff. It was going to be Ed coming out, cutting a promo, saying, listen, now I'm champion, I want a challenge, I want shit to do. And we had a guy sitting there, his name was Brian. He was sitting there saying, yeah, Ed, you kick his ass. Fuck, you know, he was like on his side. Ed thought he was mocking him, went over, beat the holy dog shit out of Brian. Now, for no reason at all, just because Ed wanted to, he'd beat the holy dog shit out of Brian. I would come out, me, Richie Ramon, out basically reprimanding him for beating the shit out of a fucking viewer. And this went on for about 5-10 minutes. And basically ended up being, you want a challenge? Okay, I'll give you a challenge. At Whiplash, you're going to face somebody of my choosing, my choosing, against Ed. And you won't know who it is, but when you get there, it's going to be war. And I was like, okay, cool. Beats the fuck out of Brian some more. We all fuck off. Later that day, we pick back up. This is later that day. Brian sneaks back into place. You know, Ed's chilling out, belts in fucking hand, kicking back. Brian shows up, beats the dog shit out of Ed. End of the show. And that would have led to Whiplash, which we were planning on doing it on January 30th. This was the 6th or the 16th. It's supposed to be the 16th, I believe it was. I don't know if I said the 6th. So on the 30th, we were going to do Whiplash. Problem was, the 30th, we got a huge fucking snowstorm. Couldn't do it. And every other weekend, every single weekend after the 30th, shit kept happening beyond our control that meant we could not do the show. So the plan was to pick back up the Brian story later on after Whiplash. That would basically be him versus Ed for the title. Brian beats the dog shit out of Ed, and the match would end with fuckery. Brian does not win the title, but he gets the satisfaction of beating the dog shit out of Ed. To him, it's not about the title. March 6, 2010, UWF Whiplash. It's our final taped show. I didn't know at the time that it was going to be the final show, but we were definitely winding down at this point. We had 2 shows left in the schedule. It was going to be Whiplash, Collision Course, and the grand finale. Originally, it was going to be End of the World, but then I decided, more shows. Grand finale would be the last one. It would be Asshole Ed versus me. That'd be the storyline going out of that. And then the grand finale would be a celebration of the whole thing, the last 5 years. So, Prelude set up that I was going to choose an opponent. For that, I recruited my buddy Lewis. Now, Lewis, you even know Lewis. Went to high school with him. Cool dude. And I figured, you know what, we'll have him be the thing with the storyline, because nobody, he wasn't a backyard wrestler, but we made it out that he was from another backyard promotion somewhere else that I hired for this show. Like, he was already their champion. He had his own replica belt that we called the Take No Shit Championship. That was the thing. We never said what the other promotion was, but he brought the belt with him as if it was from the other thing. And we were going to call him Eddie. I don't remember the last name. I think it was just Eddie. So, I hired him just for this show. Challenge just for Ed. And the dude was like, supposed to be like a badass. Set up as a badass. A challenge. Match went about 15 minutes. And boy, did they not fuck around. And I mean, seriously. They beat the fuck out of each other. IRL. Like, they stiffed each other a bunch of times. And ahead of time, the plan was for the match to not end at all. I was going to be the referee, special guest referee, to make sure there was no fuckery going on. I would have called it right down the middle. And Ed would go in the house. He'd beat Eddie down, go in the house, get out a cookie sheet. And he's, going to rear back up to hit Eddie, turn around, hit me, lay me out. Show ends there. He takes his belt, fucks off. Now, thing was, leading up to this shot, I was going to take my glasses off, take the shot, get laid out. I forgot to take the glasses off. When he hit me, the ear of my glasses, it was a metal frames at this time, this was not this pair, dug in and ripped my ear, and it did not heal.
He got
back
Mike
for
Tyson.
months.
Just without the biting.
No, I got I about got Mick Foley'd.
He got Van Gogh'd.
You laugh, but it really wasn't funny. It was very painful, and it made showers.
For you?
Yeah, it made, like, shampoo got in there a lot. That shit fucking stung for months, y'all. It was not fun. In fact, he continued, this was how cheap Chris was. He continued to use that same cookie sheet for at least 5 years after that. At least.
Yes.
He might still be using that same fucking cookie sheet to this day. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a couple of years. But I shit you not, man. That still had the dent. It's dented all the fuck because of my head. And, yeah, he might still have it, in fact. But had the story continued past Whiplash, it was building towards the titles being taken away. Because next show, Collision Course, which would have taken place in May 2010, and the grand finale, show number 2, would have been in July 2010.
Matter of fact, I remember at some point in time me being brought up in this little
Yes.
thing, because you asked me if I could help do it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll definitely get out there and slam some people.
We'll get to that. That's later. So, we had 2 planned shows. Now, because Whiplash happened so close to our high school graduation, I was sort of the mindset, wrap it up anyway. So I wasn't too bothered at the time about it ending there. Although, me now, I wish we could. That's a door that's sort of halfway open, but pretty much closed. But for the May show, I was going to recycle the name Collision Course. The plan was for Kevin here to face Ed in a 1-on-1 match. Now, I would have gotten my revenge with the cookie sheet thing by hitting him.
That was the best part, is he said he was going to hit him with a cookie sheet. I want to do it just for that. See him get hit by a cookie sheet.
That was the plan, man. And I was going to hit him with the cookie sheet and then strip him of the belts. Because ain't nobody going to hit me with the fucking cookie sheet and not have shit happen to him. I'm sorry. I was the guy in charge. He was the champion. Fuck you, taking the belts away. So that was the punishment for the cookie sheet Hoopla at Whiplash. Hoopla at Whiplash. That would have been a great name. Hoopla at Whiplash. And that would have been the end of the titles completely. I would have gotten rid of the titles. altogether. There would be no more champion, no other champion. That's the end. That's how we would write that off. So the final show, and also the match. There would have been 2 shows in a row where there would be no ending to a match. But at least at that point, Ed would be fucked up.
Yeah.
No, actually, no, I'm wrong. I'm very wrong. I read the script. I'm wrong. You would have won.
I remember you just saying something about I would have won one.
You would have won it, and then I would have laid him out. You would have covered him 1, 2, 3, and then I would have said, because the titles, did I say the title? No, the titles were not on the line. The titles would have been taken away completely. Sorry, but
You're good. No, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
so he would not have won the titles, but he would have won a match, and so the final match would have been July 2010, the grand finale, and it was a giant battle royale match. I pretty much would have asked everyone, and I did ask a bunch of people. I know for a fact Hershey was up to doing it. Pinky, I think, was up to doing it. I would have definitely asked Brian and Lewis, because, why not? Austin would have been asked back. Kevin would have been in it. It would have been a
It would have been an
fucking
epic
match.
ass fight.
Yeah.
That was,
I would have asked as
Yes.
many people that was involved
Yes.
that wanted to do it as possible.
There would have been power bombs and elbow drops
The
and
thing
leg
was-
drops all over the place.
The thing was, though, the ending was never written. Never got that far. I knew that I wanted a big match, but I never figured out who was going to win. I just never did.
That probably would have been one of those things to the motherfucker who could stand after all them people get done fighting, bro.
No shit.
Knowing our
But,
luck, though,
yeah.
we'd all be on the ground.
Yeah, I have no idea. To this day, I don't know how it would have ended. But plans to do a UWF reunion show lasted up until, 2013. Specifically, the Chucklers' 1-year anniversary special was going to be the reunion show. Hershey was going to be in it, Pink was going to be in it, I was going to be in it, Ed was going to be in it, and you were going to be in
I
it.
was going to be there for sure.
Yes.
I was totally down for whooping
That was
some
the
ass.
plan. But it fell through.
Yeah.
And by this point, man, it's been 5 years since that's even been considered. But none of us are in good shape.
Well,
Even
truthfully,
if
I'm
we
in
were
better
in
shape
shape.
than I was then, but
Yeah, but the rest of
I'm
us
also
aren't.
older than I was then, so I might be more fragile now.
We're in our fucking 20s now. We shouldn't be doing backyard wrestling. We shouldn't have done backyard wrestling when we were 18.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any appropriate age for that.
Yeah,
Don't
you're
try
right.
it at home. Don't try it at home. Okay,
There you
it
go.
hurts people.
Don't do it.
I mean, you just heard the man say that fucking dude's shit got.
That's the perfect title for this episode. Don't try this at home.
Yes.
The end. So, it's time to wrap up the episode. Hell of a story. Hell of a fucking story.
Good story. Origin story.
Origin story. Yeah, that happened before all other stories, and of course, the next episode we're actually going to retell a story in the next episode.
Yeah.
Episode 14 and 15. Looking over there, 15 is going to be Falling Fate. 16 is going to be the Rock Quarry episode, which I foreshadowed before. 17,
My favorite is 17. Thy
17
Kingdom
is Thy
Come.
Kingdom Come, which is a hell of a
That's
story.
a great story.
18, which is talking about the past, our past, which I guess that technically that's the earliest story, but it's not even a story. It's just us talking.
It's just us talking about our.
It's a
memories.
topic. 19 is the prequel to the origin of the Chucklers, and 20 is the actual origin
yeah,
of the
so-
Chucklers. That's when it began.
I won't be as involved as much in that one because the origins slightly predates me. Just a
No,
little
you were there at the beginning.
bit. Look, yeah,
You
well,
weren't there you weren't there for the very first Let's Play, but you were there for the first YouTube stuff.
Yeah, the first YouTube. Well, when y'all started doing the whole Let's Plays, right there where you were doing all that editing.
Because
and
we did 3 Let's Plays before
Yeah.
YouTube. We did 3 test Let's Plays. One of them made it to YouTube for one of the anniversary years. I think 2014.
Yes.
Alongside Dumbass, I put the very first Let's Play up. But the other 2 are still unreleased and unlikely to ever be released.
But from that
'cause they
point
weren't
forward,
very
it's been solid.
yeah,
It's been
Portal, which was technically our 4th Let's Play we did, ended up becoming the first that got released on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's how that ended up.
Portal.
So Portal
That
was
the
when
first
you
game-
started.
That was the first game that I was sitting in with these guys on, and I could not.
That was the
help
one where you
myself.
burnt the Pop-Tart in the microwave.
The-
And the whole house smelled like burnt Pop-Tart for a half hour. So episode 20, you got that story to look forward to. So, wrapping up. Before we go, I'm going to lay out the stream schedules and shit at the time of this episode's recording, which, of course, by the time this comes out, 12 is still yet to come out. I don't know when the fuck 12's coming out. Hopefully February, might be March.
By the time you see this, 12 will already be out.
Yeah, by the time you see this, 12 will be out, and it might be a couple months down the line. This shit might not even be important, but I'm still going to run through it. The Chucklers! On the Chucklers end. Twitch.tv/The Chucklers. Be sure to follow if you have it. For those who are watching on Twitch.tv/The Chucklers, fucking thank you. You kick ass. But the misadventures of Scooty and Manny, which is our mainstream lineup with myself and Darth Vapor, Scotty, we've returned to Twitch. We had a bit of a hiatus late last year, so we've been playing a larger variety of co-op games. Not much larger, but the big one is Minecraft. We've been doing some Minecraft on the side. Vanilla Minecraft.
By the way, I got 7 days again.
You did?
Yep, I downloaded it again.
Cool. I need to get that.
Yep.
Well, I need to get PlayStation Plus. I got the disc. But we've been streaming a lot of Vanilla Minecraft. We got a huge world that sort of open to all the Chucklers. Because of cross-play, we've been able to do it. I stream off the Windows 10 version. He streams on Xbox One. I know a couple other people that's got it on Xbox One. They've been sort of halfway contributing to the map. But it's sort of a large thing. It's like a greatest hits world, you know. That we've got our main base, and we've got like 6 or 7 fucking small villages. And each one of the villages has a building or a theme that fits in past builds from the Chucklers' history. Stuff like the Colosseums. One of our old sandstone bases from our old 360 map. We rebuilt that. Colosseum 2, which it's a video. Go back on YouTube and look up Colosseum 2 Winter. It was the winter theme, the snow one. We're rebuilding that one right now as I speak. So we've been doing that a lot on stream. We've also been doing some GTA Online and some Call of Duty World War II. I got that for my birthday last month on the side. I've also got Assassin's Creed Origins, but I'm not streaming it. I streamed the very first session on it, but...
Great game. I love Origins. I played it for, what would you say, about an hour that day?
God, more than that. More like 3 hours.
I played it for about 3 hours that day, and liked it.
Great game.
Liked it. Great game. The
But
perfect fucking visuals.
After the first stream, I thought, fuck it, this is one that's best experienced on your own. I'll come back and stream it and for my second playthrough.
More material later.
More material later, exactly. So, Call of Duty World War II, GTA Online, and I've also been streaming with Aaron and his guys, Tacos and Tardis. He's got a whole group of people, sort of honorary Chucklers at this point. They're going to be collaborating with us a lot more. Whole group of people, whole cast and crew. Too many to name here, in fact. I'll shout them out in a future episode. Hell, they may appear in a future episode.
The Nerd Alliance.
The Nerd Alliance, that's what they're called.
Who does that?
An alliance of nerds.
Okay,
Kevin.
but every time I've met a nerd and you call them a nerd, they get offended.
Nerd is not a derogatory term anymore.
Agreed. It never was, in my opinion, but hell, I guess things change.
Things do change. But we stream with those guys, and that's most of the material on twitch.tv/The Chucklers. Of course, we may also do Undercover marathons and vodcasts and stuff. Of course, Chucklers Undercover. I think I'm not 100% sure. This might be entirely incorrect, but this might be the first Twitch exclusive Undercover. I think, because I think I'm pretty much done with YouTube. YouTube has fucked me over so much in the last year. I'm not doing YouTube again. I think that's where I'm leaning at the moment.
Yeah.
So if I don't do another YouTube video from now on, that's why. So this might be the first Twitch exclusive thing. So this does, you know, this may premiere on Twitch. So in that case, thank you for watching. But we're not done. This is not quite the end of the episode. We got other things. King Chuckler, Kevin. He's got his own solo streams, man. Twitch.tv/King Chuckler. Follow immediately.
Had to make sure I could do it first. I used to do it on my PC quite a bit.
Right.
But it was okay. My PC's a piece of shit. Probably hear me say that all the time. Still haven't gotten it fixed. Did get compressed air. It's
what, overheating
dirty
problem?
in there. Yeah, bad overheating problem. It'll stay on for maybe 15 minutes and it'll shut off.
Tell you
because
what,
it's too hot.
Now it's probably not the time to arrange this, but I got screwdrivers. We'll open it up and clean it real good. See if that fixes it. 'Cause
And
I got the stuff to do that.
I mean,
But I've
if I
taken
can get that
apart
fixed,
laptops
you know, I'll be
before.
able to do
Okay.
anything. I've got Minecraft on my computer already.
Yeah.
I just had never got to
Got a
play it
shitload
because
of
of that.
Steam games that we
Yeah,
still need
I
to
mean,
do.
tons. One that I've always wanted to go back and do was Star Maid. Fucking
Dude,
Minecraft in
We
space.
spent so
yo.
long on Star Maid.
Yo.
Star Maid, if you've never played it, I haven't played it in like 3 years. but
Minecraft in space.
Minecraft in space.
It's way better now. It's not as boxy.
Is it still free to play?
No.
No.
It
was
charges.
It was for the early access.
But you got
3 years
the
ago.
blocks. You know how they used to have wedges and tetraspheres and all that shit, like the corners, so that you didn't have to make a square
Right.
ship. Now they've actually made it to where even when you put the blocks together, they
In fact,
auto adjust.
Yeah, Minecraft does that. Well, not
Right.
not vanilla, but modded Minecraft has
Right,
blocks
when you put
like
it together,
that
it
now.
like smooths it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this does now.
That's a whole thing.
I've been wanting to get my computer back up and running, but life.
I'd like to do some more
Feels.
modded Minecraft on Chucklers in the future. We sort of left that one hanging, but because of the whole situation with not being able to afford a group server, we had to temporarily put that on the shelf. But the plan absolutely is to go back to modded at some point. I've still got backups of Sky Factory. What else do we got? Our vanilla servers are still backed up. Plural servers. So that's an open-ended thing. We'll get back to that. But of course, this is not about Chucklers.
Right.
King Chuckler, what have you
We
got
be
going? What's your streams?
currently hitting the NBA game pretty hard, and they got this league coming out.
Yeah.
It started
Hashtag 2K
2K
League.
the league or
Yeah.
2K League.
I've been sitting in on his streams the last month or so.
It started January 1st, my birthday, and after that day, I was like, "Yeah, you got to complete 50 wins."
Which you
That
did.
was easy. Yeah, that was a couple days, maybe a week.
Yeah.
Finished that easily, but shit's getting serious now. You qualify. Next thing you know, only people that qualified have this little option they go into. You go in there and you got to complete 40 games with a specific player. You can't make your own. They give it to you. It's only certain players that you can use. You've got to complete 40 games, win or lose, and they grade you straight up like they would a professional basketball player.
Now, when you
If
say grade,
like, if you take a shitty shot, that shit's graded. If you take
Graded
a wide
how?
open, like, they say, okay, he took a contested shot, so his shot choice might not be the best. You go to try to pass into double coverage, and it ends in your big guy getting a turnover. Well, he's probably not the best point guard. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, I see what you're saying, but I'm just a little curious about their criteria. Is it like letter grades, number grades?
Letter grades, basically.
Okay.
You would say letter grades. Probably like basketball. You got numerical values to it, but according to what they're doing, they're just giving you a grade according, let's say, from A to D. To this, the guy that's looking at this is going to be looking at the shot types you take, how you're playing, if you're playing as a team, if
Yeah.
you're setting the right screens, if you're setting bad screens, good screens. They're also going to have you tied. The whole game's going to be tied into like a program. That program's going to tell them whether or not you're consistent with your shot or not. So if you shoot up 6 shots and each of those shots you get a green light, which is pretty much a perfect release, obviously that program's going to go boom, green, 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 and
Okay.
that's going to be graded also.
Yeah.
Somebody as compared to the person who's in the paint trying to dunk it, and he steps out to the 3-point line and he shoots that bad boy and he don't get a green, he releases it early and it misses. It's going to tell him, oh well, he's kind of not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
So then that's a bad look on you. It's getting pretty serious. It's actually like you get paid to do it. So
Well, is it like you've mentioned some of this to me already, but is it more regimented? Like when you get, like, assume you get chosen,
Mhm.
what would the routine be?
routine. Pick your point. Pick your poison. You got 5 positions: point, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. Right. Each of those spots have 5 different archetypes. That's it. No, there is no your own identity.
That's not exactly what I mean. I mean, like, what would your day be like if you did that? Just play nonstop?
No, practice. They schedule team practices. They schedule all this other stuff. So on the days that you have games, you'll have to be be there. Now, like, when you get drafted by the team, you're going to be located to a house.
I see.
In that state. Like, let's say I'm drafted by the Raptors, the Toronto team.
Mm-hmm.
I will be sent to Toronto to stay in the house they have dedicated for the people that's going to be on that team. All five of the people. I
assume that they would have to, like...
We're all bunking.
Yeah, no...
They pay for everything.
Yeah, but you need, like, to have your passports in order. Or
Yeah,
your
I mean, they'll take care of all that
the
for you. You just got to, have the initiative to follow the steps they lay out there for you.
I see, okay.
So, once you sign up, you're pretty much applying for the job.
Right.
This little combine, now that's the part I'm on now because I got my 50 wins. I've qualified.
Right.
Now I got to compete in the NBA combine. This is the same thing like in the pros. All new players come into this place. They got to jump up and smack a stick. They got to run back and forth between these cones.
They got in the game or in
no,
real
like
life?
in real life, this is what they got to do. They got to jump and smack a stick, see how high they can jump. They got to run a relay around some cones. This is going to be the same, except in the game, it's going to be you go to this little selection. The only people that qualified have this selection on their menu. It's a whole separate thing from the actual game.
I see.
That way they can keep the connection tip top.
Right.
No, all these other people ain't connecting to the same thing. It's only the people that qualified. And then once you go in there, you're going to pick your person, your archetype, right? And then you're going to go and you're going to play 40 games. Win or lose, they grade you. Shots, defense, teamwork, the works of a basketball game. You've heard me in
said 40
streams.
games?
40 games. That's
Okay.
all you get, 40. Win or lose. Obviously, you want to win.
Well, yeah, I'm shocked that they made it an even number. I thought they would do it an odd number.
I don't know if they'll change it. They might. Because they made us do 50 wins.
Because if you get it even, 50-50,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't. Yeah.
I'm
But
not sure.
after that, you get the combine. They draft you. You get sent to wherever it is. Passports included. Your housing and shit's included
Right.
too. You're staying there with the group. They did add an extra position to it, so it's not 5 per team. It's 6 now. But we don't know how the 6th person's going to do. If they're going to be staying in the house with the rest of the team, or if they'll be separate somewhere else using their own internet, whatever the case may be. We don't know nothing about
Okay,
that.
here's my other question. You've been doing it with Charlie and other guys. Ike I've seen in there.
Yeah.
Assume that they get picked up too. Would you guys be staying in the same place?
Depends on who picks us up.
I see. Okay.
So if Memphis, the Tennessee team picks up me, and the LA team picks up Charlie, no, we'd be playing against each other. Now, if we just so happen got drafted by the same team, we would be in the same house doing the same thing.
That was my question. Since y'all play together now, would that mean y'all play together?
Now
the
it's
whole way?
specifically like the you were up to getting your 50 wins. You could do that solo, you by yourself, with one
Okay.
friend, with 3, 5. It don't
follow.
matter.
I
You can still
absolutely
do
follow.
it. You can still do it. Like in this combine, I don't think it's going to work like that, though. I think you got to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So,
And see, I've only sat in the stuff that you've played with other people,
yeah.
Charlie,
It's...
those people.
Yeah.
And I've seen games where you play with
Random people, and it seems like the random people piss you off.
They do. But bad kids.
God,
Just
almighty,
bad
man.
kids.
And
But
I've
you
seen-
could tell it in the games
Dude.
they do, too, because they'll be like, you'll be like, pass it, I'm open, pass it, I'm open, and they don't. And then all of a sudden they shoot a contested shot, and it's like, what?
I rarely ever hear Charlie get pissed unless he's playing basketball.
Yeah, they do that.
He's typically a chill dude, and when he's getting pissed, god damn, fuck this game.
Hey, I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Fuck
He'll
this,
get
I'm going to
vulgar
bed,
than just
If
curse
he's-
words. He will get a little racist on
Oh,
people.
yes, he has.
But the only way he does that is if they actually deserve it. Me myself,
How do you deserve a racist slur, though?
well, imagine if you're the only white boy on a team and you don't get the ball ever.
Okay.
That's how it could get racist.
But
And you could tell because
just
they'll
fighting
pass
fire
it.
with fire,
They'll
though,
pass
man.
it
I just
between
don't know
all
about
4 of their people, and they
that's
won't
a
pass
whole
it to
other.
you. But
we're getting way the
right,
fuck out
I mean,
of the topic,
but that's
man.
the whole thing is that's why you get pissed off is because there's people on there like that. Like
Yeah.
they'll literally go and shoot 40 shots because you missed 2 shots
Right.
and you're white. Well, I ain't passing to the white boy anymore. I ain't passing to this kid. He can't shoot. But inevitably, you shooting up 50 shots and hitting 10 of them. What's the difference? There is none.
Yeah.
It's all biased, man.
I'm not
It'll make you
involved
mad.
into basketball shit.
It'll make you mad.
This is a whole other world. For
Yeah,
me.
there's a lot
I
of
bought
stuff.
NBA 2K16 and could not get into it. It's a whole other fucking world than
Yeah,
what I'm used
it
to.
is.
I play
It is.
fucking shooters. I play platforms.
You've gotta have
I play
team.
open world
You've gotta
games.
have a
I do
team.
not play sports games.
But anyway, enough. No more 2K.
Okay, no more
Um,
2K. So you said you wanted to do some
Battlefront.
Battlefront 2 at some
Battlefront
point.
2. Yes.
You haven't yet, have you?
No, I've been pre-streaming, like just kind of turn it on, see if it'll run good with Battlefield, because
Yeah.
every game's different. Battlefield takes a lot of back and forth between your router and your PlayStation.
Right.
So I've been trying to make sure that the stream won't make me lag to the point to where I can't.
Yeah.
That 50-foot fucking Ethernet cord was doing it. I should have seen it. I was.
Well, to be fair, the 50-foot Ethernet cord was bought when you lived in the yellow house.
Yeah,
and
and it was meant to-
there was 50 feet between your
Yeah,
room and the
but
router.
now-
That's what that was for.
I plug it in the first time I plugged it in, and I'm sitting there trying to shoot somebody, and I'm walking right, and I'm shooting, and prap, and I hit them twice, and they hit me once, so I start moving left, but my dude's still walking right, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, yo, and then 2 seconds later he starts walking left, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, and I'm sliding down in the seat randomly. I didn't. It's weird, but I was like, it's kind of weird, yo.
But to be
Like,
fair, the seat's in an angle.
yeah,
Like,
And so
you're
I'm like,
sitting on the edge of your seat, sliding.
whoa. But
Anyways.
other than that, like I say, I just recently got my games coming back down. 7 days, I'm gonna be doing some of that. I don't know how much, because
I
it
tried-
seems a bit.
Right around Halloween,
Boring.
I tried streaming 7 days solo, and doing it solo is totally different from
Yeah.
the way we had, because we had a good ass setup. We was good as shit at that.
Yeah,
Doing it solo is a totally different fucking.
still
ball.
got it.
You still got that
I
world?
still got that world.
I think we should start over.
I'm thinking about that too.
Just because the whole caliper situation, and plus, I would do it differently the second time around.
Yeah, I would definitely.
We talked about this in one of the past episode 9 or 10. We talked about our 7 days world where we had a base on stilts. Now the stilt base worked because we had fucking
We
200
were built on sand.
It was built on sand right up against an ocean, so zombies would come 3 ways. The fourth way, which was our escape route, which went underground, was zombie-proof. Nothing spawned back there. So it was a waterfall that led to a sea of spikes.
Yes.
At the bottom of this fucking,
Yes.
I don't know, five point.
It was 4 pillar blocks.
Four
and
pillar
pillar
blocks.
blocks are 2 times.
Okay.
So it's 8.
So a lot of fucking blocks down.
Yeah, it was 8 blocks down, 4 pillar
And
blocks down.
it was on stilts, and we had the stilts themselves reinforced as far as they can go, and we just kept every 7th day, or every day after the 7th day, we would just rebuild the fucking.
Every 6 days we were down there with the fucking claw and what is it called? The
claw
and-
hammer.
Yeah, claw hammer. And down at ding ding ding
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
Up until the very
Fucking
last
it would
hour.
take a whole day in the game to fix
we're
all
talking
our
literally
No, sorry.
hundreds
not to
of fucking
fix
spikes.
all of our spikes. To fix a portion of our spikes, it would take a whole fucking day.
It was a lot.
We would start on the fucking 1 day
But
left.
I think the way I would do it this time is totally underground. Do a full-on underground base.
Well, see, I was thinking about that, but just remember they can dig.
That's fine.
No, it's not fun.
Yes,
what are we
it
gonna-
is fine.
What are we-
Listen, we're going to have 2 bases, okay? One above ground, the one that's fucking fortified. We'd put the fucking pit around it, Kevin. And then the base above ground, we would dig underground from there.
I'm thinking instead of doing what we did the last
And then we
time,
would gradually deconstruct the top part.
how we had the big
layer
ass pit,
Yeah,
and then they just walk into the pit from all sides.
yeah.
I think what we should do is moat it
And-
out, like, all right, outside pit or like a little.
This is hardly the place
Yeah,
to fucking
yeah,
get into
yeah,
it, but
Anyway, a little 2x2 pit or a little strip of
yeah,
land missing, and then it
pit
leads
with fucking with the base here, which we would have up, I guess, on stilts
Yeah,
or
yeah.
ladders or something, and then we would just gradually fucking dig down from there, and then when we're far enough down that it's fine, like obsidian or a bedrock level,
bedrock.
we'll fill it back in, deconstruct the top. That's that's how I would do
yeah,
it the second
yeah,
time,
yeah.
unlike
But-
doing it before, because that was a waste of fucking
To be
wood.
determined. Like
We had
say.
we had so much of a tree farm that it registered as a forest biome from a
Yeah.
distance. and it lagged the game
It
heavily.
was. It totally registered as a damn biome from a distance. We looked across the map and said, "Damn, look, those trees wasn't there just a little bit ago."
And the closer we get, I was like, man, it looks like around our base. And then we get even closer, we're like, fuck, that is our base.
Fucking every tree gave us 2 saplings. We go around
shit
chopping
you
down
up, man.
50
That was-
trees and planting 100. It's like, oh shit,
Oh,
going
fuck, dude.
green.
And what was funny is you know exactly when they would pop up, the next phase of growth, because it would lag more and more and more until it was all gone, and then we'd spend 2 in-game days cutting fucking trees and using the wood we got there to rebuild our spikes, and fucking, it was a cycle, man. It was fun though. I want to get back into that.
Definitely gonna have to.
I just need to get PlayStation Plus, and I'm fucking broke right now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, let's
We talked-
transition to the next.
Yeah, we talked about his stream, my stream, twitch.tv/ManicProfessor. If you haven't followed, please follow. And please follow me on Twitter also, @ManicProfessor. It'd be greatly appreciated. I don't post much, but I'll retweet some funny shit sometimes. But as far as my stream goes, I've been fucking around. I don't really have a plan. I've been at the end of Final Fantasy VIII for the last month and a half. Specifically, I'm near the end of Disc 3. Like, I got Doom Train last stream. And what I would like to do, I've never done this before in a playthrough, get all the summons. All the summons and most of the abilities before I beat the game. I've never done it. I've never done all of it in one. I've gotten all of them separately,
Knights
or
of
I've
the Round is
cheated them
hard.
in. That's a different game.
Yeah, 7.
That's 7.
Don't they have one in like that, Nate? Though?
No. Well, they have an ultimate summon in 8, but it's not like Knights of the Round. It's Eden, which you gotta get at the Deep Sea Research Center.
What is it that you get whenever you collect all the cards?
I don't remember.
There's somebody that once you
I
collect
don't
all
fuck
the
with the
character
card game.
cards.
I
that-
suck at the card game.
I know. There's something you get when you collect all the cards, all the
I'm not
character
sure.
cards.
I don't know.
I have to ask my bro. Charlie did it.
Not sure.
He spent damn 2 weeks doing
But
that.
I've been avoiding finishing Final Fantasy VIII because I'm at the part of the game where I'm heavy grinding, and I just got really burnt out on the endless boss fights
Yeah.
and grinding regular fights to get 200 fucking XP or EXP to learn the next ability, so I can get a fucking rare ass item. It's a lot of bullshit. So in the meantime, I've been playing a lot of modded Sonic Adventure. I got SADX on Steam with the mod loader and fucked with that a lot. I did recently, like last week, did a 130 emblem run, 100% run of modded Sonic Adventure, which I'd never done that on stream. That was cool. And I moved on to Sonic Adventure 2, which I doubt I'm going to do an all-emblem run of that just because it takes too fucking long. But I got mods on it too, which would make the experience a little bit more tolerable, I think. So I might do it. I might, just to see what it's like. But after those and Final Fantasy, I'm back to the backlog, man. I want to save Assassin's Creed. I've got other Chuckler stuff going on. I've got a short list of games that I would like to revisit this year. Whether or not I actually do those games remains to be seen. I don't think too hard about it. The streams are sort of an afterthought at this point. I'm coasting along at the moment until something big happens. But I've mostly just been playing whatever I feel like playing. And yeah, I guess we've reached the end of the episode. Any parting words? Anything? This is your last opportunity. Speak now or forever hold your peace until the next episode. So not forever. So speak now.
I'll tell you, it's been fun. It's been a long ass episode, guys.
It's
I
been
hope
like
you stuck around.
What time is it? 2:11 a.m. and we started at 10:20
Yeah, it's been
something.
4 hours, 3 hours.
And of course,
Take
we-
away
we-
an
we
hour,
took-
hour and a
we-
half.
No,
for
we
that
took
trip.
2 hours off
Yeah.
to pick up those guys and take them.
Yeah, so it wasn't that terrible, but still, it was a pretty damn long stream. Probably longer than all the other ones we've done.
And probably longer than they'll ever be, because I don't hope, especially the ones that I've got planned out until number 20, the next 6 of them. Well, number 14's already written. We just
it's
gotta
just
fill in the blanks.
But
But I want to get some time because I still need 12. I still got to finish 12. I got this one to do immediately after that, which is no
the next
easy
episode's
feat.
going to be great.
Next episode, number 14, will be a
gonna be
fun
great.
one. And of course, yeah, they won't. None of the stories will ever be as long as this one,
Yeah, no.
and the last one, in fact. The only one that I think might be pretty long is 19 and 20,
Yeah.
and
But then we're talking
maybe
about
17,
going back
but
into
17
the
isn't
whole
isn't a big deal
histories and
either.
origins and getting to the
Yeah.
root of stuff again, going
Because
a little
the
deeper.
point is, if any of these stories did not happen, if only one of these stories did not happen, the Chucklers, as you know it, would not have existed. Without the UWF, I wouldn't have known Chris, wouldn't have known Alex, and they were two founding members of the Chucklers.
Yep.
Had it not been for episode 14, the Day from Hell, I wouldn't have met
I would have
Kevin.
never been here.
If it wasn't for episode 15, Falling Fate, I would have never met Scotty. You know what I mean? So they all fit together. It's how I met individual members. It's key events in the formation of the Chucklers. And that being said, in episode 14, in the next episode, we're going to revisit our most infamous story. Go back and watch episode 3, in fact. Immediately after you've watched this, go seek out episode 3 of the Chucklers Undercover, the Moss Lake story. In episode 14, we're going to revisit that. We're going to tell the whole story. We left out some pretty key fucking moments.
Key fucking details, okay?
And we need to reveal. We need to set the record straight. It's been 10 years. We
10
need to
years.
set the record straight. What all happened at Moss Lake? That being
Yeah.
said, see you next time. Peace the fuck out.
And remember, it's always best if you just chuckle.